a book that will be published, unlike Nick Rekieta's book. Let's see. Yeah, I heard that last night that Nick Rekieta went kind of insane again. But I wasn't actually able to follow along with it because I was so busy. I got home last night and I ended up like just messing around with ChatGPT instead. So I haven't like really been up to date on what's been going on. Like I'm so busy right now that I can't even really follow the Kiwi Farms thread. So I'm going into this like basically completely blind. I have no idea at all what Rekieta is saying now. Okay, what else was I guess I wanted to wait, hang on. Did I want to check my stream to make sure I'm live? Let's see. Okay, I'm live. And what else was I guess I wanted to wait, hang on. Check my audio. My stream to make sure I'm live. Let's see. Okay, I'm live. Yep, audio is fine. Check my audio is fine. Like it's been a while since I've it feels like it's been forever since I streamed, but it probably hasn't been that long. Okay. Yeah, like I legit was thinking like when I was at work like just an hour ago, I think. I was just thinking that like, wow, I really don't want to stream today because I don't know if I'm up to it. I don't know if I can do it. I've been working for 12 hours. I don't know if I'm willing to come home and stream. And then I instantly come home, sit down on my cushy like leather recliner, my massage chair, and I'm just like, hell yeah, we can do this. So let's go ahead and check out the Rekieta recap. Let's see what Elissa Clips has to say. Oh no! No! Nick hates Star Wars. Oh. Okay, the rise of the 2024 excuse. Okay, so is this a list of the excuses he's made for not streaming? Because I've heard that's like the new controversial thing is that he's like canceling a bunch of shows and he's coming up with like really ridiculous excuses, right? Like the big one I noticed was uh, the 106-degree fever. I think he's now claiming it was 107 degrees. Like he's claiming that. He's claiming like emergencies. You know, people are coming over to his house in the middle of the night. Apparently, like I don't know what's going on. I really don't. This is definitely something we'll want to speculate on as we go through this collection of Elissa clips here. But yeah, impromptu date night. I will not be streaming. Taking some time off with the inimitable Lady R. See you soon. Wait a minute. Okay, hang on. I will not be streaming. Taking some key to okay key QT with the inimitatable Lady R. Okay, so QT is quality time. Okay. I was kind of confused about that. I was just like, wait, what? Okay, so out of nowhere, he cancels his show and he goes out with Lady Rackets, apparently. Like that doesn't make any sense. Like you have the entire rest of the day to do things with your wife, right? You have like times where you don't have to work, right? So like what like to me this is like a red flag that things are not well in the Rekieta household, right? They're in that like stage where like Rekieta is doing everything he could possibly do to like keep her happy, and like nothing's working. That's kind of the takeaway I get from this. I don't know. Oh, why are we having nothing but good news? Yeah, we're gonna be talking about that tonight for sure. But for now, we're focusing on Rekieta stuff. So please bear with me here. Friday's show is moving to Saturday. Yeah, so the first one was Jan 10th. This is Jan 12th. So like he canceled two shows in a row, like 2 days apart. Friday show is moving to Saturday. No show tonight. Got a bunch of stuff early in the AM. Like, huh? Early in early in the morning, does he mean? AM. Like who the hell says that? Like, oh, I have to do something early in the AM. What the hell does that mean? And the day got away from me. I will be pushing the show to Saturday. Here's a new chat. Sorry for the unplanned move. Lots of stuff hitting with the family over the weekend. What does that even mean? Hitting with the family? What the? What does that mean? I've said this before. This is very James Rolfe-ish, right? Like it's the same thing where like James does like the same like it's the same cope. Like oh I can't make videos. I have to spend time with my family. But like your your entire career streaming is like making videos. That's all you do. Like you can just revolve your schedule whenever you want. Like it doesn't make sense to have like impromptu date nights when you set your own schedule, right? It doesn't make sense to have like spontaneous like family outings when you set your own schedule. Like you know, these shows were planned for the 10th and 12th. Like, what was he doing on the 11th? Right? Why couldn't he do this like on the 11th? It just doesn't make any sense. Hey guys, sorry, but I aim molesting ground 7:30. I crashed out. Don't feel well going to sleep. We'll try and do a morning show tomorrow. Again, really sorry, but the show would be a disaster tonight. See you soon. Okay, wait, the son of that, like, he got really, really wasted. Wait a minute, this is in January. January was sober January, right? So this is when he was still like allegedly not drinking, or at least not drinking on streams. So like, did he just get like totally wasted like before he went live? January 25th, confirming no stream. Hey guys, finalize the non-stream tonight. I did not notice how many streams he canceled. Like because I'm so busy. I can't keep track of like his shows, right? If he doesn't stream on Friday or Saturday night, like I don't know if they happen, right? So for me personally, like over the past couple of years, I've always catched his stuff like on the replay, right? Like I don't have time to watch him live usually, right? There have been some exceptions. So like it's crazy like actually looking at the list and just seeing how many shows he's worked. And like keep in mind like he doesn't do anything else. Like it's not like he's an actual practicing attorney, working at someone's law office. No, he sets his own schedule. Like this is all he does. Finalize the non-stream tonight that I mentioned last night. Thar I mentioned last night. Streams resume tomorrow. Is this an actual like accurate thing? Or is Elissa like did Elissa mess that up? Like I can't imagine she did, but like I've noticed a lot of misspellings and issues with this thing. Again, to me it seems like he's totally wasted throughout all of this. January 30th. RIP, sick, no stream. Hey guys, sorry, had a really cool weekend and then got sick yesterday. Yeah, uh, that was the weekend of the hot tub stream, wasn't it? Like January 30th, right? That was that weekend. So like he did the hot tub stream, but he didn't do his actual stream. Like, was this just after that? Slept a bunch, didn't even make a notification because I was so out of it. Still sick today. Cannot do a stream. Really need rest, look terrible, feel terrible, sound worse. I'm going to turn in early tonight and see what tomorrow holds. Sorry, I know schedule has been wonky lately. We should be picking it back up. Yeah, better pull up, Spoonie. Better get that content released. Okay. Late show canceled. Sorry guys, have a medical issue. It's private. I am not doing a show. This week sucks. Like that was the very next day, wasn't it? Hang on, that's uh man, like is he serious? Like he's canceling his like delayed shows? Like what exactly is wrong with him? Like is it just because of the drinking or is it something else? Right? Like yeah, just February 6th, no stream Tuesday. If you watched the local stream last night, I realized I had some plans tonight and may not be streaming. I am confirming I am not streaming. Sorry, I was meaning to confirm sooner. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Okay, so that was the week after that. Like, how do you... I realized I had some plans tonight. How do you just realize you have plans? Like, how do you set a schedule and just be like, oh, I'm gonna stream at the same time I go out to watch my wife get railed by a bunch of black bulls? Like, how do you do that? Like, how do you do that? Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. I think this stream may not happen. Had a client call with a serious issue. Yes, I still have a limited practice. I'm pressing F. I am pressing F to doubt. I'm sorry, no, no. F is to play respects. I'm pressing X to doubt. Like, no, a client? Like, are you serious? Like, is that client the most desperate person in the world? like, like, who would ever contact you with a serious issue? Like, that's insane to me. February 14th, confirming no stream tonight. Forgot to confirm earlier. As announced last night, no stream tonight on Valentine's Day. Aw. I love how he had to confirm that there was no stream on Valentine's Day. So the one day you would expect him to be out with his wife, he coincidentally decided to stream that day, almost like he knew she wouldn't be available. Aw, poor Nick. Sometimes it rains, other time it's a monsoon. Sorry guys, we just got some pretty frustrating personal news. Sorry, not discussing it. That makes our life pretty complicated until we can sort of. Yeah, okay. This is the reason why I wanted to start doing these streams, cuz you get these tidbits that nobody else is talking about, right? Cuz it's stuff that people would typically overlook, right? Sorry, guys, we just got some pretty frustrating personal news. Sorry, not discussing it. What is it? Like, what could be wrong? Like, is it about the house thing? Is it family related? Is it I don't know? Did Drexel finally do something? It's just our life pretty complicated. Okay, our life. Like, who is us? Like him and his wife, his entire family. Like, yeah, the language there is interesting. This is very interesting to me. Personal news, not discussing it, that makes our life. Yeah, here's the thing. Here's the reason I wanted to make these videos. It feels like there's a lot of deep lore that Nick just coincidentally doesn't talk about, right? He still denies that he has a trust fund. We know he does. We know the house was bought and paid for by his parents, basically. We know that we know about his education and his background and his work history and the way he treats people around. There's all this deep lore stuff that isn't really talked about. But then there's the stuff we don't know about at all, right? There's the health issues are interesting, and then this is interesting. What personal issue? Okay, February 16th. What happened that weekend? That wasn't that long ago. February 16th. Would that have been around the time the Dear John stream happened? I don't know. I can't remember. That is interesting though. That is interesting for sure. We're in scramble mode. I know Fanny Wills is a hot topic, ripe for a discussion and laughter. I have been unavailable all day and will not be able to stream tonight. Bitch if you have to. I get it. Unfortunately, there's just not much to do about it. Okay. Okay, scramble mode. Yeah, I definitely if someone could go back and check what he was doing on the 16th, that would be interesting around that period. I'm really curious what the issue is. And by the way, keep in mind, these kind of issues conveniently didn't stop him from doing the hot tub stream, right? That's let's keep that in mind. Why is he not getting these situations resolved? He has some kind of family crisis that he's not addressing. He has that family in that other house he owns that he doesn't that haven't been brought up in a while, right? You have certain things we still don't know what the worst day was, right? I'll be talking about that when I put together the top 10 worst Rekieta moments video, but Like there's a lot of things we don't know. Like again, like what was the personal issue here? And like I think more importantly, why was he not willing to talk about it? You know, like he'll typically tell you if like, oh, he's sick or he like passed out drunk or whatever. Like here he's like deliberately mentioning like avoiding the conversation. Like what exactly is he not telling us? Like it has to be something really embarrassing, I think. There will be no show tonight instead of tomorrow. Tomorrow should have a stream as usual. Sorry for the mix up. Okay, hang on. Okay, February 26th. Kinda going to have to cancel the show tonight. Been running temps as high as 106 and 107. Right now, I'm fairly stable. Hope to see you soon. Yeah, so this is like a blatant lie, as a lot of people have talked about. Like 106 degrees is like way, 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 way above what like you're hospitalized at 104, right? Like that is like a really dangerous temperature to be at. And like his claim that he was at 106 was like complete bullshit. Like even when he first released this tweet, people were calling him out on it. And like weirdly enough, like he tried like standing by it like after he came back. Like, "Oh, I had three different thermometers and they all read like 106." And I'm just like there has to be some kind of explanation. Like it was probably being a dipshit. Like 106, like really, it doesn't make any sense. Like not at all. Let's see. Okay, this flu sucks. Friends of ours who have had it have had at least 10 days. I'm on day 8. Okay, like okay, the friends. Okay, this is the thing that I really, really want to emphasize. Something that I don't think anyone else is talking about. Like, there is someone over at that house all the time. Like the friends, and apparently in the middle of the night too, right? That's been something that's been alluded to a couple of times. And to me, like what I honestly think is happening, like this is just speculation on my part. I don't want to like say this is like confirmed or anything. Like this is just my feeling on this because like those guys are over there all the time, even when Nick is streaming apparently. He talks about them there constantly. He refers to them there constantly as his friends, but we have no idea who these people are. We have no idea what they do. Like, like it could be Steel Toe, it could be someone else. Like, it feels almost as if like it could be swinger related, right? Like I made the joke that like the whole Nick checking up on Kayla thing is him going to bring the snacks to like the Bulls running a train on her, right? Like because he always like he always does it the same way where he comes out like oh I'm gonna go check on my wife like during a stream during the Rumble flip usually and then he like leaves for 15 minutes, right? Which is like a weirdly long amount of time to go check up on someone. And the fact that it's like clockwork that he does it is really really weird considering like how unreliable he is and like every other aspect of his scheduling. Like checking up on Kayla, why? Like what exactly do you need to check up on her for, right? Is she sick? Like is there something wrong with her or is she with someone else? It's like let me check the chat real quick. Emutrines had a Rekieta tier attorney, which is why they folded so fast, even though they had the money to fight the case. They still would have lost, though. Oh, yeah, hell yeah, for sure. Gamergate 2 is on the horizon, and Nick is too much of a degen to stay on top of things. His wife's friends, yeah. Yeah, like Gamergate 2 is going to be interesting. I'll be talking about this a lot tonight, but yeah, Gamergate 2 is in full swing. Like, Star Wars title score. Oh no, it's the Baldo! Ah, no! Oh no. Oh shit. Okay. Okay. Okay, yeah, we still have like a bunch of Elissa clips to go through, but yeah, considering how long it takes to like go through all of this might take a while, but yeah, it took half an hour for a minute and a half video. Holy crap. Uh okay, let's
Dog says
see.
thoughts on an office remodel to make it a true studio, uh, to mark a transition to the show. You want long term, feel better and spot on SCOTUS here. Um, okay, so I'm not remodeling this office, but if I get my way in the next several months, there will be a addition to the house that involves a new office with multiple specific broadcasting features put in it. It's something I've wanted to do for a long time, and it may actually happen sometime soon. Things are a little bit up in the air on that, but I want to do that. Along with that, I've talked about this a little bit before. One of the things we've wanted to do is create a recording studio for kids. Our kids are all very talented musicians, and we
Uh
want to have a nice soundproof room for them to record music that they make on various instruments. And then next to that would be my office, where I have a soundproof recording studio that has not just like a background like this, but multiple backgrounds and multiple angles with which to do different themes and different types of shows and different types of content. That's all hopefully coming in the next couple months. I'll tell you when it does, though. Uh, I think we may be in a position to do that soon. If we are, I'll tell you, but it'll still take a while for the people to build the things I need them to build. But yeah, that's actually in the cards. I don't want to be in this. I love this vault, but I don't want to be in the vault. I want to be in a proper studio. I want to have soundproofing. I want to be able to like yell and scream like an idiot. And then my goal of the
isn't he doing that already? Like, why does he need a new room for that? Like, I just don't.
new recording studio would be to either have 3 or 4 different stations based on the walls of the studio where I record different types of content. Like one stand up content that maybe has a TV or something that can bring stuff up on the TV. One type of content that has like a green screen, I can add a green screen to it. Then one that's
Okay, this sounds like way too much work for him. Right? Like, if he gets this thing built, he's not gonna do anything with it. Like, it's gonna be like Darkside Phil getting that green screen. He made those like four like clips. I think it was four of just him like doing goofy stuff. Like, what happens, right? People take the images and they just like put it into like offensive things, right? You know, like my favorite one that I can think of right now is like the one where like he's going through loss. Like someone just like edited him like going through like all of these panels of this infamous comic. Right? It's like it's like wow, it's so ridiculous. Like I don't know. I would love to see like people do stuff like that with Rekieta, but we're not there yet. Like the Rekieta detractor community is not on the same level of autism as the Dark Side Phil one, right? It's just me, Alyssa, and like Keto Casino. And like Kino Casino are like epic failures who can't even explain like the lore to like Mr. Medicare. Like it's crazy how little like the three of them know about Nick between them. It's crazy. But anyway,
more like this. And so that would be involve a central like broadcast pillar with the cameras and the screens and all that shit. And then it'd be modular in the sense that you could move it around, like basically rotate it.
this is like it's not that hard to set up a stream setup, right? Just have like a cheap as fuck camera like this thing, a cheap as fuck microphone like this thing, and like a gaming a PC, right? That's all you need. Right, like anybody can do this. You don't need like a rotating pillar and four different stations in like the same room, like a soundproof room. Like, what are you doing? Like, you're just throwing money away for no reason. It just makes no sense.
To the backdrop that you want for the content that you want. That's what I want to do. I don't know when I can do that. I have all the equipment. It's really just building the room that is appropriate for that. This room is my office this way, But if you look the other way, it's a library full of just books and other shit that isn't mine. That's not useful for me as an office. So that's what I want to do. If we can make it happen, you'll know very quickly because we'll be in a completely different setting. There'll be a whole new backdrop. There won't be a bunch of like my fun, like hobby stuff will be gone and there'll be more focused background for it. But that's all. If I can do that, we'll do it. I want to, but one, I have to free up the cash for it and the time, and two, I have to find a builder willing to do it. And then along with that, like I said,
A builder willing to do it. What? Why wouldn't a builder want to do it? Like that sounds an awful like I was about to say when I clicked on this video, um like it sounds like he's talking about the sex dungeon stuff all over again. Like is this just the cope for like building the sex dungeon? Is that like, oh, it's actually just an office. But no, it's actually it has a double purpose. Like I don't know.
and two, I have to find a builder willing to do it.
Okay, hang on.
Free
Let's replay
ground
that again.
for it. But that's all. If I can do that, we'll do it. I want to, but one, I have to free up the cash for it and the time, and two, I have to find a builder willing to do it. And then along with that, like I said,
The cash, that's the first time I've heard him say that like he doesn't have enough money to do something he wants to do. Interesting. Like I guess things are kind of hard for him, but yeah, the super chat money has dried up. Yeah, the Mustang, the monograph lawsuit, like yeah, he must be like yeah, yeah. So it's interesting to think like he is reaching the end of his rope, right? Like he's not at DSP levels yet because he did come from a wealthy background, but like his decisions are impacting him, right? It's not like he has like limitless money, right? Like this is the thing that confuses me about the whole trust fund thing is that like what exactly are the limitations of the trust? Like did he get removed from it? Like it's just like, or is this like purely an issue with like abandoning the law practice for like a dying YouTube channel?
my kids will be having a studio, but there'll be a bunch of soundproofing and shit. That's all
Yeah,
the
like isn't that right? Like the sex dungeon was supposed to be around his kids' room. Is that right? I think I remember him saying that.
agenda. I don't know when I'll get around to it, but I hope it's really soon.
Why is he so anxious to get this made? I don't. He already bit holes for the ceiling cats and plumbing for his alcohol. The last time he was talking about expanding the house, he was trying to get a sex dungeon built. Yeah. So I didn't pull that out of my ass, by the way. I know it sounds like I did, but like, no, he legit wanted to do that. The vault will become the sex dungeon. Oh, okay. That's did I suggest that? Like I think I was thinking it, but yeah, that does make sense. That he would just have like the office be the office, and then like the that room become the sex dungeon. Hang on, I desperately need water. I love this setup, but it is difficult to get out sometimes. Plus, I'm worried I'm gonna like disconnect like the stream by mistake. Uh, oof. Let's see. Let's check the chat. Yeah, yeah. Remodel the house. What about the 5K locals gift? Yeah. I don't know anything about that. I don't know. I'm so used to like patrons like scamming their audience. I don't even really register it anymore. So I'm not familiar with that. I never gave him money through Patreon, so I don't have any reservations about that. I don't have a personal interest in the whole like the locals gift things. I totally understand people who are upset about it though. Nick actually looks pretty sickly. Did he catch something while swinging? Yeah, he was like legit sick a while ago. He claims he lost like 9 pounds. Now people are like skeptical of that, but I think he had the same thing I had, like the respiratory virus. That was like I caught it around like Christmas, like I think the week before. It was like brutal. Like I was out of it for like an entire week. It was terrible. And I lost like at least 5 pounds. So that I don't think it's unreasonable. Like I wasn't eating I didn't eat anything for like 3 days straight, right? Like I don't think it's impossible that he got sick and lost that much weight, right? Like I do think that that actually happened. Now that's on top of the weight he already was losing, but yeah, he is looking worse and worse every time I see him. Someone should do a broken promises of Rekieta video, sandwiched between the I cannot lie statements. Okay. I am going to be putting together like a top 10 like worst Rekieta law moments video. I've actually started production on like the list. I just have to like find the clips and edit them together, and I'm gonna try to put it out there. And I hope you guys watch it because I keep producing Rekieta content and people don't watch it. Like I produced like the Drexel video. Like I found a stream where he like bragged about banging the 25-year-old girl, uh the um the uh the girl he groomed, right? I say 25, but I highly doubt she was 25. Um, like I found like the stream of him like bragging about banging the girl he groomed, and yeah, not a lot of people watch that. So he is a literal millionaire. How is he running out of money? Okay, you have to have the management skills of a child. Like he's irresponsible. Like he spends all of his money on stupid shit with like no real way of like recouping his costs, right? Like he bought the Ford Mustang, $125,000 car and crashed it. Meanwhile, motherfuckers like me are like struggling to scrape together the cash to buy like a $30,000 car, right? Like normal people would never do that, right? But Nick is out here wrecking like cars that are like a tenth of $1 million. Like no, more than that. Like like he's legit like taking a car made for millionaires and like crashing it like the instant he drives it off the lot. Like that's insane. And that's not the only thing he's doing with the monograph thing and like hiring like Mark Randazza, like, and that's just the stuff we know about. Like what else is he doing behind the scenes, right? And of course, like his income is drying up. Like he was a big name on YouTube at one point, but now he's a nobody because of his actions. It's insane. I never paid for locals, but it is scummy to promise something to people who paid and not follow through. Yeah, that is terrible. Okay. Okay, we're caught up in the chat. The Rekieta's OnlyFans studio, sponsored by Baldo. Yeah, we're gonna remodel the house and make some places bigger for more swinging activities, but what about those 5,000 gifted subs? I literally can't afford it. I don't say this lightly, but Nick needs to abandon his overbearing wife and kids. They are only holding him back from greatness. Hmm. Yeah, okay, let's
B Noodlehead says, "What's wrong with your voice, Nick? Did you lose your voice or something?" I had the flu Monday of last week, and I've got
Okay, no, because he was having problems with his voice in like the hot tub stream. Like, don't let him tell you this. Like, it was because of the flu. Like, he was talking about the voice problems in the hot tub stream. Like, you can go back and watch that. Like, he made a joke about it, right? Like, the voice problem has been like evident for a while now. Like, I've seen people speculate it's because he's sucking too much dick, or it's because of the drinking. Like I don't know what the I don't have like a clear answer on that because I don't know enough about medical stuff. Like I can confirm it isn't because of the flu though. Like I 100% do not believe it's the flu because like he had it in January, right? This isn't like
the lingering fucking effects of it. I've got a ton of sinus pressure and congestion. I've got a huge headache behind my eyes. My throat has been raw from coughing like crazy. Trying to get rid of it as soon as possible. Get back to being just me because I have so much stuff I want to do and share with you guys, and
like
start
what
making
Nick?
some real
How how many trials are you gonna cover, Nick? Like what are you gonna do for me, Nick?
real different changes here. But until then, I can't do that. But yeah, my voice is kind of fucked. I'm sorry.
Yeah, okay, that is interesting. I'm gonna point out the he's lying about the voice thing. Yeah, so he dodged the question, I think. Is that fair to say? Uh, Hang on. I think the comment section is. I have to lean in to read it. Yeah. Okay. Let's. Esophageal cancer in the works. Nothing's wrong with it, haters. Watching him try to put the mask back on and coat people back in last night was disturbing, right, John? Is John like our is John uh our Zach now? Is he our like deadly premonition? Like oof. Right, John? Like oof. Ah, man, that's crazy. I love the this is complete nonsense because we know John is a real person, but I really love like PPP's interpretation that like John wasn't a real person and that he was just like an amalgamation of like all the detractors on like Kiwi Farms. Like I love that. That was hilarious. Now it was obviously wasn't true, but I thought it was a really funny idea. Uh, let's see. Okay, let's move on to the next one.
Oh shit. Richard O team. He says you look like you took your own advice and ended yourself. God damn you fucking loser or good man, you fucking loser. Well, I wish, dude. No, I'm just tired and sick. Wow, Richard O team. Hey, Richard O team. Dick O team. Look, I don't know what to tell you other than I hope you enjoy having Montegraph's penis so far into your tonsils, which is really hard to do. I'd imagine, because like looking at Montegraph, I have to just assume that it's embarrassing. But
What?
it's more embarrassing that you love him so. But hey,
What?
I'm not here to criticize your love. I'm not here to criticize your devotion. And I'm not here to criticize the calluses on your hands, lips, tonsils, or throat. If you want to grab, suck, swallow, Montegraph, you just do it, buddy. You go for that. You grab that goal and you shove it all the way to the back of your throat. If you even can, if it can get there, it's not up to me. It's not up to you. It's up to him. But if it can get there, you just put the thing all the way back. Love is love, my friend. And your love for Montegraph is admirable. So go ahead and do it.
I okay.
Oh
I
shit. Richard
okay. I say this every time he tries to do these like deep involved like comedy bits. Like Nick is like Nick is not a comedian. That's the way to point it. Like an actual comedian would have like made a really funny observation, would have like commented on it, would have like done a fun little bit like the real comedians do, right? Nick just goes there and he's just like, oh man, you sucked my Monograph's tiny penis. Like who, that isn't that isn't disputing his point, like whatever it was. Well, I'm gonna have to watch that again because I have no idea what he was trying to say here. Like none.
O team. He says you look like you took your own advice and ended yourself. God damn you fucking loser or good man, you fucking loser. Well, I wish, dude. No, I'm just tired and sick. Wow, Richard O team. Hey, Richard O team. Dick O team. Look, I don't know what to tell you other than I hope you enjoy having Montegraph's penis so far into your.
Montegraph had nothing to do. Like, I think he was talking about John, right? The whole like kill yourself thing. Doesn't that like go back into the John thing? Like, why is he bringing up Monograph out of nowhere? Like, what is this? Like, oh, by the way, like, how many of the people in his chat are like trolls? Because it feels like it's beginning to become like DSP. Like, I was legit thinking that I would like get a locals account just so I could like ask him questions like this. Like, uh, uh, what was I gonna ask him? Like rhetorical questions that like make him like think a little bit. Like I would ask him like, is your penis the biggest Kayla's ever had, and or something like that. Like try to make him like squirm a little bit. Like I don't know. Like I don't know what I would ask him. But like I thought about like I thought about it. I imagine there are like people like that, but I don't know. I really don't want to give him money either. Let's see here. They're all trolls now and cat. Yeah, yeah, that's. I wonder if that's true. Yeah. Nick was pretty much an innovator when it came to law too, but now everyone else has surpassed him. He could have legit been bigger than Legal Eagle. Well, Legal Eagle was like an establishment shill. Like that's the thing. Like people like Legal Eagle like way predated Nick, right? But like the thing about Legal Eagle, the Legal Eagles of the world, they're like YouTube corporate shills. They are like the uh the angry Joe of like LawTube, right? Like they don't know anything about what they're talking about. They technically have legal degrees, but they don't really do anything with them. They're like they basically just like do pop culture like lawyer analysis videos, like as opposed to like what Nick did when like he actually covered actual trials, right? He actually like covered actual cases and had like real opinions and like tried to apply the law and like stuff like that, like covering weird fringe internet cases. Like what Nick did was like way more interesting than what like Nick Legal Eagle ever did, right? Like I still stand by this even now. I think Nick is still a bit better lawyer than Legal Eagle because I don't think people in like law Twitter, like, I think those people are like worse than Nick because they pander to like the far left crowd, right? They pander to those people who are like completely out of touch with reality, right? Who believe the law should conform to like the leftist ideals and stuff like that. Like, they're grifters. Like the main difference between Nick and them is that like Nick was more based than they were. Like those guys were just establishment shills, right? So like in a way, like I still feel that way. Like let's not defend like legal. Let's not like pretend like he's not a practicing lawyer either. Like none of those guys are. Like they're all like this, but it's like yeah. Nick I think is better than him. Yeah, that speaking of trolls, I really wonder at what point Nick's gonna acknowledge my existence because he talks about Elissa and he talks about Kina Casino, but like he's gonna have to like acknowledge me at some point, I think. Um, like he's been in my comment section before. Like he has clicked on a video and like left a comment before him and Drexel, but yeah, he hasn't talked about me yet to my knowledge.
Your tonsils, which is really hard to do. I'd imagine, because like looking at Montegraph, I have to just assume that it's embarrassing. But it's
What's
more embarrassing that
embarrassing?
you love him so. But hey, I'm not here to criticize your love.
He's incapable of not making things gay. Remember, guys, he doesn't care. This is an excellent example of the future of butthurt sounds like. Nick and Andy Dick should get together and start a new super straight show. Remember, guys, he doesn't care. I would like to congratulate Randazza on the purchase of his new house. All Nick had to say was, I hope you make $1 million. Yeah, I don't know why. Okay. It's a weird comment,
TSP
but
Gaming says
I wish I could see the context of it. I think we might like go ahead and check out his channel and see like watch a little bit of this live because I think we're gonna run out of clips soon, so we might do that tonight. We'll see.
Nick, now you need to start your own coffee company. No, fucking never. And then publish your own comic book to grift. I wanted to do a comic book. I really did for a long time. And then I thought I kind of missed striking that iron. I have a decent idea for one, but it's going to be so far, and I would want to be so far into the comic book before I offer it to people because I know me. I know if I say, I'm going to do this project, believe in it, I won't do it. Like I want to have the project almost ready before I release anything. I don't know if I'll ever get around to the comic book. My first book that I want to do, like most seriously, is not a comic book, and I would do that before any comic book or graphic novel. But any project that I do and offer to people will be almost done by the time I offer it because again, I know who I am. I know I have an idea to do a thing and I'll talk about it, but then I won't do the thing. Like that's not how you can ask people to invest in something. So if I'm doing that, know that I'll be showing you an almost finished project. But he says and then publish your own comic book to grift as the locals Rumble one is dying. Now my locals in Rumble are fine. Like they're good. I like them. We'll see how they go going forward.
Yeah, it's like
Do you,
typical like idea guy crap. Like, oh, I want to write a book, I want to do a comic, but like, oh, I don't know when it's gonna get done. Like, you set yourself to a schedule, you set a goal, you come up with the idea, you come up with the outline, you work at it every day until it comes to fruition, right? Like, it's not. I don't want to say it isn't difficult, but it's possible, right? Like, it's not like some insurmountable task, especially since like you have all the free time in the world, right? Like I don't I really I brought this up earlier, and like every time I bring it up, people accuse me of like shilling my own product. But like, yeah, I have my own books that I'm writing. I work 12-hour shifts, like, and I come home and I work on my book, right? I work on American Evil, right? I'm 130,000 words into it now, right? What has Nick done? Like, he keeps talking about like, oh, I want to write this book, oh, I want to do this comic book, but like, nothing ever gets made, nothing ever comes of it. Like, it's not a matter of like, oh, I'm gonna do this project, and like, it's not a matter of like, it's like he's not even trying to do it. Like he says he wants to, but like he never actually puts in the effort to like get it done, right? Like, this is something I find really interesting about him, because like I have a lot of personal experience with this. Like, I remember when I was like this, like when I was like 20 and like wanting to do something and like trying to break through the barrier of doing it, right? And then I actually did it. I produced Clover. It was finished like a January 21st, 2017, I believe. Like about a month before, yeah, around that time, yeah. So it takes like a lot of effort, a lot of time and effort and diligence to get this kind of thing done, and I just don't see this kind of thing from him. Like, oh, I'll wait until it's almost done before I start shilling it. But then like then you have the problem of like promoting. Well, I don't think you'll have the problem with promoting it because he has a built-in audience already, but like, I don't know, if you want to write a book, like just write the book. Like, it's not gonna get done like if you just like talk about it all the time.
ESP Gaming says, Nick, now you need to start your own coffee company. No, fucking never. And then publish your own comic book to grift. I wanted to do a
Hang on. Uh, Without trolls, I don't think anything. You are lucky. Avoid the Baldo gaze. There will be more clips coming. I heard him crying about PPP last night for some reason. Oh, okay. Okay. I'll have to check Alyssa's channel then.
comic book. I really did for a long time. And then I thought,
Yeah, I did see the PPP crying thing, by the way. I saw someone on Kiwi Farms bringing it up, so that'll be interesting. PPP is really getting under his skin, I think. I find that interesting.
I
Uh,
kind of missed striking that iron. I have a decent idea for one, but it's
oh,
going to
hang
be
on. Let's start this
GSP
over.
Gaming says, Nick, now you need to start your own coffee company. No, fucking never. And then publish your own comic book to grift. I wanted to do a comic book. I really did for a long time. And then I thought, I kind of missed striking that iron. I have a decent idea for one, but it's going to be so far, and I would want to be so far into the comic book before I offer it to people because I know me. I know if I say, I'm going to do this project, believe in it, I won't do it. Like, I want to have the project almost ready before I release anything. I don't
Was so? What was the good idea for the comic book? Was it just Ace Attorney, but with like Nick as the protagonist? Was it like Internet Attorney, but like taken completely seriously? Like that? Like I just don't. I would not have been impressed with him if he released like an Ace Attorney knockoff with like him as the protagonist. Like, I wouldn't care for that at all. Like, would he be banging like the underage female assistant and like making sex jokes all the time? Like, that's kind of what I think he would do. I don't know.
I don't know if I'll ever get around to the comic book. My first book that I want to do, like most seriously, is not a comic book, and I would do that before any comic book or graphic novel. But any project that I do,
He's like in his 40s, and he's not working on his like dream project, right? Like that. Like, I finished Clover when I was 20. Like you can argue Clover isn't good or whatever. Like I released it for the first time this year. Actually, the final part of it. Yeah, you can argue Clover's like not great or whatever, but like the thing is, I made what I wanted to make at that time. But like since then I've moved on to other projects, right? American Evil is very similar to Clover Part 4 in a lot of ways. So like I learned it I learned and grew from that experience. Like Nick is not learning and growing from from an experience. Like he's not trying to put out something good. Like he's just complaining about like, oh, I want to put stuff out, but like, oh, I don't want to promise it to people. Like he doesn't want to put the work in. Like that's the real problem.
Do and offer to people will be almost done by the time I offer it because again, I know who I am. I know I have an idea to do a thing and I'll talk about it, but then I won't do the thing. Like that's not how you can ask people to invest in something. So if I'm doing that, know that I'll be showing you an almost finished project. But he says, and then publish your own comic book to grift as the locals Rumble one is dying. Now my locals in Rumble are fine. Like they're good. I like them. We'll see how they go going forward. Oh, also,
Okay, let me check the chat again. A Rekieta visual novel that is literally just Ace Attorney. Hello, hello. He can literally make this happen. He had the money to hire people and make a small dev team. Bro. Like, do you not know? I guess I can bring it up real quick. I tried. Let's see. Let's see here. Oh, fuck. Let's see. Yeah, this is on the Harmon Smith channel. This is a thing that actually exists. Nick Rekieta, internet attorney. Like I put more work into making the Nick Rekieta thing happen than he did. Let's go ahead and watch this. It's like 3 minutes long. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! 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 No. No. Oh no. Oh, that's crazy. Oh man. So yeah, man, I wanted to I've been wanting to make episode 3 for a long time, but I never got around to it. Like I started production on it, but I haven't been able to produce it. It's just uh Harbin really does it all. Yep, hello, hello. Okay.
So for now, the locals after streams, thank God, they're not happening. There will be some more spontaneous locals activity happening soon. I've gotten rid of that required locals after stream. Hated it. It was not productive. It was not good. So look for locals to change pretty dramatically soon as I've gotten rid of that. But again, the sickness is hampering my plans. Jirac says, so locals did not renew your contract. Nice cope. You can think whatever you want about whatever you want. It's I can tell you that everybody's theories about everything are always wrong, so I don't care. But
Hang on,
my
wait,
sickness
what?
is hampering my plans. Jirac says, so locals did not renew your contract. Nice cope. You can think whatever you want about whatever you want. It's I can tell you that everybody's theories about everything are always
Okay. Okay, so people were speculating that like Rumble didn't renegotiate his contract. I guess Locals has a contract too. We typically talk about the Rumble one specifically, but I guess Locals has one too. Um, yeah, people were speculating that he was not getting renegotiated. Like, did you see the way he acted? 100% seething about that. He 100% got fucked on the contract. Like he didn't get the result he wanted, or it straight up did not get renewed. And who can blame them after what's happened? But okay,
wrong, so I don't care. But I hated doing the after show. It was locals' idea to do that after show. It has never been productive. It has never done what they've wanted it to do. It has never been fun for me to speak for 3 to 4 hours a night and then let's do another show where I'm supposed to give more content. It's like, but what am I supposed to say after doing 3 to 4 hours of content? Doesn't work. That's not how I built
okay, hang on.
been fun for me to speak for 3 to 4 hours. It has after show. It has never been productive. It has never done what they've wanted it to do. It has never been fun for me to speak for 3 to 4 hours a night and then let's do another show where I'm supposed to give more content. It's like, but what am I supposed to say after doing 3 to 4 hours of content? Doesn't work. That's not how I built locals, and it's not how locals was going to grow afterwards. And I hated it. So I negotiated that out. It's gone. It's fantastic. And we're going to be doing a lot of different stuff locals as we go. J Rock says, I hated agreeing to a contract I signed. Guys, J Rock is really cool. He's here all the time and he thinks he knows stuff about whatever. Um, no, I really liked the contract I signed with locals. It was very lucrative for me, and it was a lot of security. But what I found, and I thought, oh yeah, doing a local stream after my Rumble show would be great. What I found very quickly was that I didn't enjoy it. People didn't show up for it in the same way that they would have showed up for a daytime show. I was burned out. I had over talked on my main show, and I didn't have topics that were following. The only shows that I liked doing were hot tub streams where I was relaxing, but I could just do hot tub streams impromptu on locals and not forced to do them. I would much rather utilize locals in a completely different way than what they had asked me to do. But I didn't know that at the time I signed the contract. It sounded good, and then it didn't work out. So now we've got a whole new arrangement and it's fantastic. Girox says, Nick, we've never found the wonderful content creators you introduced me to. Would you stop whatever this is and be our Nick?
Okay. Huh. I don't know enough about the locals contract to comment on this. I think I'm curious if he's just coping, but
Says Nick, we've never found the wonderful content creators you introduced me to. Would you stop whatever this is and be our Nick? J Rock, have you considered the possibility? Have you considered the possibility that there's a reason I haven't been our Nick lately and that I've been desperately trying to rework and retool some of the things that sounded good and didn't work out the way I wanted them to for a while? And maybe just give me a few minutes and let's roll with it, brother. Let's roll with it. But I promise you, you don't know what's going on behind the scenes. I promise you that you don't know what's going on in front of the scenes unless I tell you specifically
Front
that
of
I
the
like it that
scenes.
way. But hey, man, it's not a secret. Like you can see it on my face for several times over the past year plus that there are times where I just was really like not enjoying what I was doing and doing it because one, I had to, and two, because there's a bunch of people who wanted to see me, whether I was enjoying it or not is irrelevant. Like that as a content creator, sometimes you just have to do the thing. You have to do the work. But I'm trying to get it where I'm enjoying what I do as much as possible because when I'm happy, it makes a better show. That's the main shit right there is when I'm happy and into it, I'm making a better show. And that's what I've been working on for a while. And we've got some movement on that front. So hang out with me. Let's see where it goes. Local streams are coming not after shows. Local streams are coming at different times, maybe with some guests. And also, I do have some podcasts that I really like, locals exclusive podcasts that I really want to start. You'll see them when they pop up. They're coming very soon. Again, not being required to do local streams after the show is a big thing that has been a fucking disaster this past year. It's made me not want to engage. Big
What?
thing that has been a fucking disaster to do
Okay, he's
local
talking about the
streams.
thing. He's talking about the big thing. Okay, what do you guys think? Okay, let's hope we get some interesting insights about uh okay, let's see if we get some interesting insights on the big thing that's happening.
After the show is a big thing that has been a fucking disaster this past year. After
Okay.
coming very soon, podcasts that I really want to start. You'll see them when they pop up. They're coming very soon. Again, not being required to do local streams after the show is a big thing that has been a fucking disaster this past year. It's made me not want to engage in locals content because I'll do a show, I'll be tired, I'll talk forever. And then it's like, oh, let's go on locals right now. And then if we do locals right now, we'll get some new. No, I won't have new stuff to talk about. I'm fucking exhausted. So that's new. That's going to be a fun thing. And we're going to have some guests. We're going to have some locals, literally locals exclusive podcasts, not just like spontaneous live videos. Um, Working on that. And we'll go ahead and
Okay, so was he complaining about the locals contract like before this? I don't remember him bringing this up. Like the big thing of contention at the moment was the Rumble one, but I don't think the
and
locals one was ever
do that
mentioned.
very soon. Again, don't take my word for it. Wait until I start putting out the content. You'll see. But the way to see the content is for free. You don't have to pay anything. RekietaLaw.locals.com. Go follow me there. You'll get announcements every time I do a stream, by the way, because I make a link in a live chat or whatever on locals, and I send that out by email. You'll get that. It's not like YouTube and whatever where they don't send a notification. These go out by email to you guys, so you can see them when they go out. Really easy way to keep track of what I'm doing, and it's free. That will never cost anything at all. The podcast, once I release them, will be behind the locals paywall. They'll be for my locals community, and I hope that people find them valuable enough to engage in. But that again, don't join until I actually create the thing. You'll see it if you're following me on locals.
Okay, like, are the podcasts gonna get made though? Like, to me, that doesn't make sense. Like, he already has a successful YouTube show. Like, just do the YouTube show and then just convert the audio into a podcast. Like, why does he need to do a separate like thing for podcasts? Like, it doesn't make any sense. He doesn't like that everyone is right about losing Rumble. Yeah, like I I don't know if we have any evidence. Like, I imagine you're right about that, Mobcat, but like, uh, I don't have any evidence for that. I can't like co-sign that yet. Stop being a slacker and get it done. Wait, get what done? Uh, let's see. This is like someone getting fired and then bragging about all the free time they have now. Hey man, when I quit my job in like 2020, like that was an amazing moment. Going from like working 7 days a week to like having 2 months of free time. Man, I got through like all of Dragon Quest 11. That was like that was like an amazing period of my life. I love that. Uh he lost the Rumble contract. Locals will be soon entirely gone. He loved getting paid by big corporations and not having to beg for money from regular people, like those nasty grifting streamers out there who shall not be named. But now he's going to need you regular people to start giving him money again soon. Thanks. Oh, okay. So like he lost the Rumble contract and he's trying to like send people to the locals one. So like they'll give him money through that. Okay. Okay, so that might be why. Okay. So he lost the Rumble one, but he still has the locals one. Is my understanding of this? Everything you guys say and all your theories and criticism are wrong forever times infinity. Is he a child? Yeah, that's the thing about Rekieta. He's such a contrarian. What would happen if you like told him to do the wrong thing, right? Like, what would happen if I sat here and was just like, "Hey, Nick, uh, go ahead and cheat on your wife. Go ahead and abandon your family. It's okay, Nick. I support you." Like, do you think he's like going to do it, or is he going to like is his oppositional defiance disorder thing, or like his sociopathy or whatever they call it? Like, is that going to kick in, and he's just like no, and then he's just going to like start doing the things that he's supposed to be doing? Like maybe if we all got together and we all started like doing that, like oh, do the wrong thing, Nick. Do the wrong thing. Live the Dick Masterson lifestyle, Nick. You can be the next Drexel, Nick. Like, I wonder if we did that, if he would come out and do the right thing. I'm wondering if that's how it works. I have a very strong suspicion is that it's not that's not how it works, but that's just my opinion. Guys, you love getting paid by Victoria. Everything you guys say and all your theories and criticism are wrong forever times infinity. Nick didn't grow his locals because of what is content. He grew it because he got canceled and then promised a 5K grift. Okay, yeah. So yeah, it's interesting because like the YouTube banning thing seems to be like the big like turning point for Nick because like he got the Rumble contract and then he suddenly felt the need. He suddenly felt like he was stable enough to not have to worry about entertaining the YouTube audience anymore. So like he went a lot more mask off after he got the locals. That was the behavior people noticed. He negotiated himself out of a Rumble contract. We are all wrong, folks. Our lying eyes are deceiving us. Nick will be healthy and happy and on top again very soon. Well, on top of a woman? Like you clearly don't know Nick all that well. I'm altering the deal. Pray I don't alter it any further. Darth Baldo. He built locals by lying about the 5K grift and encouraging sad white-aunts to overshare in his little harem. I can't believe we're still calling it a harem because we know at least one of the people in there was a dude. Like, the end of Rumble. You cannot stop drinking. Oh man. Oh, Evangelion. You can't make fun of me. There's nothing to make fun of. So he doesn't have to stream a Rumble. Starting a fat lines of cope explaining the nasaliness of a lot more than a 107-degree fever. Nick hated doing locals. He had nothing to say, and so he ran his mouth every time he was forced to stream for them. He put in no preparation as he's always too busy and was just trying to do the contractual minimum required. But now that Nick no longer has to do any of that, he's going to do more locals. He's going to put in preparation for his locals, and you'll definitely get your money's worth this time. No refunds. Hmm. Hmm. For him to blame everything on an after show is insane. Not to mention an after show where he didn't even bother trying. He sat in a hot tub and or stood in his kitchen coping while also oversharing. Yeah, like I feel like the local streams for a long time was like where like a lot of the oversharing came from, right? Like that's when he was like typically at his most wasted and when he like the whole kitchen thing became a meme. Like that image of him in his kitchen is like was kind of like a meme in this community while he was still doing it. And I wasn't super involved with that. Like I never watched a local show. Like I have not been watching a lot of Nick clips until just recently, but I've been trying to get back into it because of the show, but because nobody else is gonna do it, right? But
uh,
okay.
Bennett 69 says Nick took a month off drinking and started drinking again like he used to after his body started getting healthy. Now he's poisoned. Bennett, I didn't take a month off drinking. I take a month off drinking on stream. But I told everybody I was not drinking. I just wasn't drinking on stream for the show.
Okay, okay. He said sober January, like initially, implying he wouldn't be drinking at all, and then like he retconned it. So like, oh, he tried to say that like, oh, I meant like I wouldn't drink on stream, which I don't think is necessary. I don't think he's being genuine about this. This is a cope.
And there were some good takeaways from it. And this month, well, February has been a little different. But getting sick has prevented me from like doing the full on analysis. And we'll get back into everything. I liked a lot of January. And I may implement sober shows. And if I do daytime shows, I may have to be sober for
Pressing X to doubt, I may do sober streams, just like you may write a book, just like you may do a comic book, just like you may do a local show. None of that shit is happening. Like, get the fuck out of here. Like, get the fuck out of here, Nick. You're not fooling anybody. Not a single person in the chat believes this. Not a single one.
a lot of them because I just may have to go do something right after that won't be conducive to having a couple drinks. We'll see. The sober shows in January are great. I like them a lot. I hope other people enjoyed them. Um, a lot of people wanted me to bring back drinking to the show in February and March. We'll see how that goes. I'm not married to either principle. Like I don't. It's not one or the other. It's a nice fluid thing. Very gay, but we'll figure it out. Um,
So
I
he's
don't
like,
care.
oh, he's not an alcoholic. He's an alcoholic fluid. Like sometimes he drinks a lot and sometimes he doesn't. Like it's like you're just like you're a basic bitch college girl, Nick. Like, oh man. Like, oh
If I drink for
man.
the show, I just have fun doing it mostly, and it lubricates things a little bit and lets you say things like Fannie Willis is a giant fucking waffle cunt. Zachary Keith Hasbrook says, "Be a drunk, have another drink." Eh, I'm good. I have this. I've been drinking this. Brother, no
Is he
wait,
gonna
that's
drink
Cutler.
it?
Sorry. It's over
He
here.
said he wouldn't drink it, but is he gonna drink it? Like, what are your bets? Like, is he gonna drink it or not?
It's Brother Justice all night. I think I'm good. About a quarter into it. It's a 43% alcohol drink. That's not so bad. I have done like quarter to a third into a bottle of 60% liquor drinks. Very bad. If you've ever seen me on those, it's really awful. I get really drunk. This is a nice, like smooth, good whiskey, and I enjoy it. But it's not like gonna kill you. So that's great. I don't like doing those shows. I don't like getting absolutely fucking tossed and torched. It's funny in the moment, and then later you go back and you're like, holy shit, my head hurts, my body hurts, and oh my God, what did I say? I don't even remember. Those are awful shows in their own way, and they typically have a reason behind them, but we won't get into that right now. It doesn't really matter. I'm trying to reduce the occurrence of those shows. If whiskey is a part of the show, it should always be like a feature. It should always be like a little like side thing that happens. It should never
Whiskey whiskey shouldn't be on the show at all because it's like it's caused so many problems. Right? You should be cutting that shit out. Like the way it looks is that like he's beginning to understand that he has a problem, but he still doesn't want to like openly admit it. So like he's just trying to say that like, oh, I'm just drinking casually, but no, like I'm just a casual drinker, but no, like,
ever be the controlling factor. It should never be something where I go, I need whiskey to get through the show. That's not a good approach to life. It's not a good approach to the show, and it makes for poor entertainment. If we're gonna do like a drinking stream where people are gonna like pay to like which Let's Go Brandon or whatever, gonna pay for me to have a bunch of shots. That should be a prepared for thing and it's ready, and I should be in a great mood to do it. It should not be a thing where it's like I don't feel good, I need to drink a lot. That's not how you should handle
I love how we're still making "Let's Go Brandon" jokes in 2024. That's hilarious.
substances in any way in life. Substances should always be an enhancement and a boost to you and a boon. They should never be a crutch. They should never be something you rely on. They should never be something you do out of sadness, guilt, spite, or anger. Because if you're doing that, you're using a chemical substance to try and overcome your mood. And if you are engaged in that, you won't win, by the way, and your negative mood will be amplified by the substances you take. Don't do that, guys. Don't do that. I've done it. I've done it on shows. I've done it off shows. It's a bad way to live. It is that is the abuse of substances that you cannot engage in, because that is the abuse that will kill you. It will it will separate you from your friends, your family, your loved ones. Don't do that.
Yeah, so he's admitting he's having alcohol problems. I want to listen to this again because I wasn't paying attention, but like,
Quarter to a third into a bottle of 60% liquor drinks, very bad. If you've ever seen me on those, it's really awful. I get really drunk. This is a nice, like smooth, good whiskey, and I enjoy it. But it's not like gonna kill you. So that's great. I don't like doing those shows. I don't like getting absolutely fucking tossed
okay, well, why do you keep doing it? Like, why are you doing it then? Like, just stop.
and torched. It's funny in the moment, and then later you go back and you're like, holy shit, my head hurts, my body hurts, and oh my god, what did I say? I don't even remember. Those are awful shows in their own way, and they typically have a reason behind them, but we won't get into that right now.
What's the reason then? Like, what is the underlying? What is causing him to drink? Like, it's an addiction, right? Like, I don't think there's any like stress in his life. I don't think there's any like it's just a physical addiction, right? I mean, like he was. I don't know. Is it safe to say the drinking is like the reason for his personal problems, or is there like something else driving the drinking? Like, I'm inclined to think the drinking itself is the problem, and that's leading to like everything else that's been happening. Because he came off as like perfectly normal, like in the 2019 period, like before this became like such an issue.
Doesn't really matter. I'm trying to reduce the occurrence of those shows. If whiskey is a part of the show, it should always be like a feature. It should always be like a little like side thing that happens. It should never be the controlling factor. It should never be something where I go, I need whiskey to get through the show. That's not a good approach to life. It's not a good approach to the show, and it makes for poor entertainment. If we're gonna do like a drinking stream where people are gonna like pay to like which Let's Go Brandon or whatever, gonna pay for me to have a bunch of shots. That should be a prepared for thing and it's ready, and I should be in a great mood to do it. It should not be a thing where it's like I don't feel good, I need to drink a lot. That's not how you should handle substances in any way in life. Substances should always be an enhancement and a boost to you and a boon. They should never be a crutch. They should never be something you rely on. They should never be something you do out of sadness.
This guy is seriously gonna lecture us about alcoholism. Nick Rekieta, someone who I've seen pass out on stream drunk like a couple of times. Like he's really gonna tell us that like, oh, you shouldn't abuse substances, guys. Yeah, no shit.
Guilt, spite, or anger. Because if you're doing that, you're using a chemical substance to try and overcome your mood. And if you are engaged in that, you won't win, by the way, and your negative mood will be amplified by the substances you take. Don't do that, guys. Don't do that.
Yeah, don't do what I do,
I've
guys.
done it on shows. I've done it off shows. It's a bad way to live. It is that is the abuse of substances that you cannot engage in, because that is the abuse that will kill.
How many times have people brought up his drinking to him and told him to stop, like that it's causing problems? And how many times has he been like, no, fuck you, like I do what I want, like come on, who is this guy to tell us to stop drinking. I don't drink myself, but like, yeah, that's how bad it is. Like, I don't touch alcohol, and yet I'm still offended by this because who's telling me this?
Kill you. It will it will separate you from your friends, your family, your loved ones. Don't do that. Always be happy, always be in a place that is positive when you're on various substances to go ahead and engage your friends, your family in the appropriate setting, right?
Okay, so be positive when you're around like your loved ones, when you're out drinking. Don't be a negative Nancy. So like the way he makes it sound like he must have been drinking at some point and caused a problem with his family. Is I think what he's like tacitly admitting here. Like that might be a bit of a reach, but I don't think it's unprecedented. I don't think that's an unreasonable conclusion.
Like if you're sitting there doing this stuff and it's impacting you, you're doing it wrong. If you're sitting there doing this stuff and it's making you happy, it's making everybody around you happy, that's great. As long as it's not excessive and it's not impacting your life.
Okay. I didn't take a month off drinking. I took a month off drinking on stream. I only drink on stream. He's never lived. Oh, I didn't even catch that. Oh, wow. Imagine having a coworker and he says, I am not a drunk. I will prove it to you by not drinking on the job for 1 month. A lot of people wanted me to bring back drinking on the show in February and March. We're gonna need to see the evidence on that one. Yeah, I thought the same. I don't know if I said that. Like, yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Like, you need to present evidence for that one, buddy. Like, Nick. Wait, hang on. Nick definitely needs rehab, but he's too far gone and too egotistical. I love that his body enjoyed being sober, tried to burn him alive after he started drinking again, and his takeaway from that was, dang, I couldn't drink for a couple of days. Let's see. Let's see. Yeah, I think that's everything. All right,
Want to know
let's check the chat real quick. Let's see. Rekieta will start putting his hot tub streams on OnlyFans. I'm shocked it hasn't happened already. Leaving a job can be great, but he's not going to be honest about his situation. Harmon Smith as third mic for Kino Casino during the Rekieta segments. Oh, so somebody who knows what he's talking about is going to be on there for the very first time ever. Yeah, he loved locals when the wine moms were around. It was more than likely Rumble that asked for the sober streams. Let's see. He sloshed. Let's see. Uppers. How do we save Rekieta Law? The news has been crazy lately. I've been losing so much. Who knows what will happen next? Okay.
the biggest pitfall of your streams now? Why I barely watch anymore? Arguing with that goddamn chat for 45 minutes at a time. It's only been 30 minutes and 53 seconds.
Wait, what?
By the way, I want to know the biggest pitfall of your streams now? Why I barely watch anymore? Arguing with that goddamn chat for 45 minutes at a time. It's only been 30 minutes and 53 seconds.
Yeah, so he just argues with chat a lot. You saw how quickly I got to my chat's not as heavy as his, but like you saw how quickly I got to the chat. Like, I answer questions, I respond to people if it's worth responding to. Like, like I don't sit here and like argue with you. Like, imagine if I like argued about the whole Kino Casino thing. Like, no, I'll never go on there. I hate both those guys. Like, no, I'll do it. I won't be happy about it because I don't like them, but I would do it just to dunk on Rekieta. But yeah, that's
by the way, we've had great donations here on YouTube tonight. Thank you for that. Thank you for participating in the show. We're not going to do a Rumble flip tonight. We're going to stay on YouTube the entire time. You know why? Maybe it's funny to watch the platforms actually have to compete.
wait, what? Hang on. What is he saying? I'm so tired. I've been working for 14 hours straight, right? Like it's been like what, an hour and a half since I fired the stream up. I'm starting to like zone out. I'm just like, holy shit, how much more of this do I have to go through? Uh
We're going to stay on YouTube the entire time. You know why? maybe it's funny to watch the
Oh,
platforms actually have to compete.
okay, so this is about the Rumble flip thing. Okay, so like for some reason on the stream he did on Wednesday night, I think it was, like he didn't do the Rumble flip. So what happened was that like he said he was gonna do the Rumble flip early on, like normal, and then like in the end he didn't do it. And then he was just like, oh ho ho ho, we're just not gonna do it tonight. And it made people think that like Rumble straight up ended the contract, and he's just like kind of just casually just low key admitting it. Um, I don't I don't it's definitely interesting that he's going against the contract like this. Cause like they were very explicit, right? Like he's supposed to start on YouTube, get the audience, and then like make the second half of the stream Rumble exclusive, like to drive people to Rumble, right? And he just didn't do that for that stream, and you have to wonder what his motivation for that is, and I think like they had to have ended the contract. Like there's no other justification for it. Like he says the Rumble flip is annoying, but I don't think it's that big of a deal, honestly.
Doug Fat says, because Rumble isn't paying you to switch. We get it. Pay Nick or
Uh,
STFU. You can think that, but remember, I've been talking about I don't want to do the switch. I never liked the switch. Switch was good for a while because the purpose was to take YouTube viewers and expose them to Rumble and say, hey, there is this alternative competing platform. After a year of that, I don't think it's useful anymore. So guess what? It's been on my list of things to get rid of because it's not helpful. It's not growing Rumble anyway. It's just a thing that we
so he didn't renegotiate the contract. He just did it. He just broke his contract. Like, huh? Like no. Like either he got dropped from them, which is like what I think happened, or he still has the contract and he's like straight up going against it because like oh it's not helping Rumble. Like I don't have to do it. Like that's not how this works, bro. Like you don't sign a contract and then like renegotiate terms. Like I didn't have to go to like the worst law school in the country to figure that out. Like okay,
we do that is cumbersome. I'm not doing it tonight. I'm not doing it.
I'm not doing
YouTube's
it.
been
Oh.
fantastic. Rumble's been fantastic too. And I know that people are going to think whatever they want to think, and that's so much fun.
Okay, he 100% got dropped. Like I don't I don't think there's any speculation. Like he's coping so much about this. He 100% got dropped by Rumble. Like holy crap. That is crazy. He is seething so hard. Like, oh, you can think whatever you want, guys, but you're wrong. Times infinity. Like, oh, plus one. Like, no take back. Like, hi. No.
Think what you want to think. It'll be great.
I'm sorry if I'm starting to sound a little bit like iffy. Like I said, I woke up at like 7 p.m. yesterday, so yeah, it's like yeah, it's been nonstop act no, not 7 p.m. 5 p.m. Yeah, 5 p.m. yesterday. Started work at 7 and like I've been working ever since. So yeah, it's been like straight up for 14 hours of work. I guess more than that if I did anything before I started work. Whatever. But yeah, I'm kind of out of it. But we're gonna try to push through this.
You guys make me very, very happy. And I look again, not to be gay, but I know that I've made a lot of people not happy over the past year, year and a half, or whatever. Just know that like not all decisions were entirely in the hands of me. And now is this great opportunity to wrest those decisions back to me. Here's the thing, I've always liked me, and I like.
Okay, so like he got dropped by Rumble and he's trying to make the best of it. Like, oh, I don't have to do the Switch anymore, guys. But like it just comes off like a massive cope is what I'm reading into this. Um, again, I'm not completely 100% sharp right now, so I might not be picking up on all the subtle cues. But
the decisions I make. Giving those decisions over to other people, sometimes you have to show them that the decisions that they make are not correct. Because if they would have made the correct decisions, they would be doing what I do instead of doing something else.
wait, what? Wait,
And you're like,
who?
well, like, look, what you're asking me to do might not be great. And they're like, no, this is what I want to do. Okay. All right,
Is he talking about
guys.
Rumble? Is he talking?
We have so much more fun. Missouri Battleflag says, I think everyone thought the flip sucked. I hated it. I hate the fucking flip. I hate it. That's what I was talking about. One of the things I want to do,
Why aren't you talking about the case,
one of the
Nick?
things I wanted to do
Why are you
as
talking
my
about the
contract
case?
renewal came up was negotiate a separate plan. The separate plan is either no flip to Rumble, but just parallel streaming to Rumble because people want to watch on Rumble. That's great. Awesome. I do love Rumble. I love working with them. I just don't like the fucking flip. Or, or only streaming exclusively on Rumble. We could do that too. That'd be great. Exclusive Rumble streaming. And then YouTube becomes a different type of channel. But look, I don't like the flip. I don't like this artificial thing in the middle of the fucking show. It's like, oh, by the way, let's not move on. I don't like that. It was good for a couple months. It's not good anymore.
What's the big deal? Like, it's just a flip. Like, what is so annoying about it? Like, it's like, no, I don't understand what his issue with this is. Like, just do it. Like, it's not that big of a deal. Like,
It lost its shit.
I'm multi-streaming this right now to like 4 different platforms, by the way. So
Ace Brain says, how will you go about dealing with too spicy for YouTube speech without the Rumble flip? Most speech is not too spicy for YouTube to say. Most of it is too spicy for YouTube to monetize. Um, Look, there will still be days where we do the Rumble flip, or again, I'd love to do all live streaming on Rumble. We'll figure it out. For now, not doing the Rumble flip right now. YouTube's great. As long as people keep participating and enjoying the YouTube show, I like it. I always hated cutting it off. Look, if Rumble has a better product, then people will go to the better product, right? That's the idea. And that's what I've been telling Rumble. Like,
Rumble's competing with like YouTube, which had like a monopoly on video streaming services up until like 2016. Like the only reason that competing services exist basically is because they started censoring conservative content. Right? That's the reason Rumble exists. That's the reason why like Kino Casino is on Kick. It's why like LeeLive is a thing. It's the main reason why people know these alternative services exist is because of like the what they were doing around that period, right? Like you have to promote this stuff, right? Like it is in your best interest to stream on both YouTube and Rumble, right? That contract was extremely favorable to you, someone who was kicked off of YouTube, I might add. Like that contract was very generous, right? And he's gonna like complain about it because I have to flip, I have to end the YouTube stream. Well, it's not, no, it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. Like this is the thing that just drives me nuts about him is that he keeps incessantly complaining about things that do not matter. Like, I don't like the flip. Oh, I don't like doing local streams. Oh, I don't like doing this. Like, I don't like doing trials. Like, it's like it's nonstop just complaining with him, right? It's just endless. Like, how many times have we seen this in like this marathon stream? Is like, how often has he done this? Like,
if you've got the better thing and the better chat and the better viewing experience, let's fucking go. People will organically go there. Why are we forcing people to go over there? We did that for a while. It's not that. So we'll see how it goes. But hey, here's where it is for now. It's great. Rumble and YouTube. We'll see how things go. We've got some flexibility that I have worked into my schedule, and I'm very fucking happy about that flexibility. So we're gonna see what things do. If you guys want me to be on YouTube, if you guys want me to be exclusively on Rumble, start showing me what you want. Start telling me what you want. Click the like button, the thumbs up. Drop comments down below. That's the best way. I do check them. I do read them. So if you like me on YouTube, if you like me on Rumble, tell me what you like. Tell me what you want. Do you want me full time on both platforms? Do you want me?
I think everyone was pretty clear about what they want. Stop drinking and cover legal topics. Don't talk about yourself, right? People were like very specific about it, but he hasn't done those two like the two primary things that people want him to do. So like I don't think people care what platform you stream on, Nick. Like if your content was good, like they would follow you anywhere, right? Like that's the main reason Rumble exists, right? Like, Rumble's growth is entirely fixated on this idea that like people are coming in from other platforms. Like that's how it works at how they're promoting themselves at this point, right? Like it's like your product is not good enough.
Full time on one platform or the other. Uh, how's it been? It's been a year. It's been a year, and I have this whole new level of flexibility. This company, I love Rumble. All the Rumble guys have been great, and I love working with them. But I now have the opportunity to kind of redefine how I do things with them. And let's do it. Let's make it great. Let's show them what the right thing to do is. But that's on y'all. Send me comments. Not asking for money. Don't be stupid. Thumbs up, locals, YouTube, or sorry, Rumble, YouTube, whatever. Drop comments on the video. Tell me what you like. Do you like it on YouTube? Do you like it on Rumble? What do you like? Do you want it on locals exclusively? Do you want more intimate locals content? What do you want from me? We've got the whole fucking oyster right here. So let's check it out. William Dixon says, has it been a year already for the Rumble stuff? Yes, it has.
It feels way longer than that,
And I
personally.
like a lot about it, and I don't like a lot about it. And uh, my entire purpose in all of this is negotiating in flexibility and longevity. Because for me, being required to do things in a particular way is not how I do. I've told you guys I have like ODD. I say ODD mostly as a joke, but I have problems with authority. I have
A
problems
joke.
with rigid schedules and rigid
A j-
ideas. I do things the way I like to do them, typically speaking. I haven't been doing that for a year.
okay, yeah. I mentioned the whole ODD thing as like a joke, like but no, like the reason it became it wasn't a joke when he brought it up. Like he used it as like a justification for his behavior. But the thing is, like ODD is like diagnosed in children. Like it's just a typical behavior pattern in children, right? Like it's just being anti-authority, right? Basically what it amounts to. Like the adult version of ODD is called sociopathy, and I suppose he must have been made aware of that. So he's trying to like backtrack on that a little bit. But yeah, it's the issue is that like he doesn't seem to like working at all, and he like refuses to do anything that like takes any effort or skill at all. It's just him like sitting in front of a camera talking about himself for forever. It's just
I think it's shown in how I feel about the show and approach the show, and I don't like that. I want the show to be fun. I want the show to be engaging and intoxicating for me and you. And
for me,
so
emphasis on the me.
I now have been negotiating in flexibility in the greatest ways. Let's make it happen.
Negotiating flexibility. So like he claims to be negotiating it, but like what it sounds like is that he's already out of the contract and he's just trying to like sell you on this idea that like, oh man, I'm free to do whatever I want with this show now. But it just seems like a cope. Like I don't know. I think I need. Uh, I don't. Yeah, we have so many more videos to go through, and I hate like getting up and getting more water because I feel like uh I don't know, I'm wasting your time. Yeah, I feel bad for like getting up and like refilling my glass of water, not alcohol, like pure like H2O. Like I feel bad for doing that because I want to get through these clips, but. Whew. Uh, okay. Gotta say, I really like my new stream setup. I think it's been working out way better than the last one. Let's check the chat real quick. Uh, Nick needs Rumble because he won't be able to say the N word without it. So Rumble gives him the N-word pass. Oh man, Drexel wasn't enough, but Rumble, oh, he can do it. Nick guilt tricked in the audience. He wants people to feel bad for asking him to show up for his own show. Everyone was telling him what they wanted. Yeah, I was telling him what I wanted, right? And what's happened is that I stopped watching him, right? This is the most I've watched him in a long, long, long time. Like I stopped watching him in what, 2020? Like even then, like throughout all that year, I was like kind of phasing out a little bit. Like I think throughout 2020, like most of it, I was like mostly watching Nick and Drex streams is for what I remember. Like current event stuff. And then like the election happened and that was what dropped caused me to drop him completely. But like yeah, Uh, yeah, it's weird coming back to it and like seeing all these Rekieta isms. It's crazy, like how much I've grown and developed over the past couple of years. You know, all the books I've published, like the cool like leather chair I have, um, things I've done. Expanding my YouTube channel and stuff like that. I'm partnered now. Like all of that, like what has Rekieta done to like grow and change? It's so weird comparing like my situation with his. Okay. Nick leaves for like 10-minute pee breaks now. I've talked about that. Yeah. Has anyone else noticed that? Like every time he does it, he says he's like checking in on his wife. Like I've talked about this before. I don't know if you're in here for that, but like he does that like consistently. Like he always says like, "All right, time to check on the wife and everyone else." And I'm just sitting here thinking like, who is everyone else? People say it's the kids, but like I was legit thinking that it's possible she's getting railed by like the train of black bulls like right then, and he's just like going to give them the snacks, right? Like that was like my thought process when I saw that. It's just like wait a minute, like why is she still awake? Why is anybody still awake? Like considering the time he streams, like it's weird how often he like emphasizes that they have friends over in like the dead of night. That's just weird to me. It doesn't make any sense. I mean, I'm from a working class background, so to me, like I take visiting other people like really seriously. Like you do not mess with other people's schedules. It's kind of my thinking. I mean, I suppose this might be normal for upper class people. It's really weird, like to me, like seeing what people from people like that, like how they behave and what their culture is like. It's so like alien to me. Even now, I still kind of feel that way. Uh, okay. Rumble doesn't care because you hardly ever stream. If anything, you owe them money for breaking your contract. YouTube and Rumble are competing for your exclusivity. Rumble didn't drop me. I'm playing hard, Baldo. This man has an absolutely pathological inability to take responsibility for anything, doesn't he? There's literally nothing in his Rumble contract that caused any of this. He used to do the exact same stuff back when he was successful. He'd stream for a few hours, then do an after show where he would game for Twitch for an hour. Nowhere in his contract did it force him to become a drunken sex pest who can't stop talking about his personal relationships. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, so we all agree it's not Rumble's fault that the show is tanking. Flexibility is just another way of saying that he's no longer under contract and he can do what he wants. Rumble dropped Nick because he spent the last year treating them like chumps. Does anyone get the impression that he's manipulating the audience here? Nick knows what his limited options are and wants to control the narrative. They didn't walk away from me, I walked away from them. And I wanted to do was well, like they didn't really drop him though, because he's still on the platform, right? Like they didn't kick him off Rumble or anything. He's still streaming on there. Like I guess they're just not paying him anymore. But like, hmm, I don't know. Like it's possible like he just didn't get the favorable contract he wanted. Like maybe they re-signed, but maybe they were just like, okay, we're just gonna give you less money, and that's what he's seething about. But but I do personally lean more towards like Rumble dropped him. Hmm. There's not much to speculate on. It's over. It lost its appeal when he got catfished. It really lost its appeal when Rumble decided not to renegotiate. I never liked the rumble flip. Okay, yeah, yeah. Next
Guys,
clip.
I'll briefly say I got the flu on Monday of last week. My temperature is relatively stable. My energy is hit or miss at any given moment. I'm feeling really good right now. My head is congested. I've got a lot of sinus pressure in my nose and behind my eyes. And if you guys have seen my nose, if I have sinus pressure, the world is about to end. But I'm here for the show. We're gonna go as long as it takes, hopefully, to do this. And thank you for bearing with me through all the canceled shows. I have really, like, I didn't see this flu coming, and it's been really fucking brutal on me, Lady Rackets, and all but two of our kids have gotten it so far. Although one of them had a runny nose and a little bit of a temp tonight, and I'm like, please, please, just don't make them sick. Like, please, 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 let that be incidental because it's nasty and it lasts for fucking ever. And then James Pruitt says, "You look like death." I feel like death most days. Most days, I feel like death. Most days lately, I do feel like death. Again, I've been sick since Monday of last week, and as much as I can, I'm streaming. But they're like yesterday, I couldn't do it. I couldn't stare at a screen for hours. My eyes were just pounding, and my nose was so plugged up. It's so fucking irritating. But we're working on it, trying to get back to that healthy enough space to just stream and not have it be a thing. So thanks for bearing with me. I don't want to sit and belabor this shit though, guys. I want to get into the show. I know I often ramble way too long, so we're gonna do that, and we'll get into this.
Ah, no,
The greater Jeff.
every time it happens, I'm just like, no. Like it doesn't matter how many times I see it. Like it's still cringy. Like why does he do it? Why does he lick the bottle? Like
This uh, single malt whiskey, American single malt whiskey, is very good.
this is an older clip, isn't it? You can tell because he doesn't look as gaunt.
It's not a bourbon, so it doesn't have that bourbony flavor. Your stuffed nose makes you sound like a Minnesotan. Yeah, dude, I don't like it at all. But hey, it is what it is. I blow my nose like 50 times a day right now, just trying to keep the shit out of it. Sometimes I actually lose my sense of taste, and then I get it back, and then I lose it, and I get it back. It's been a mess. Did you drink your daily heavy water? What is heavy water? No, I don't drink heavy water. Kevin B19C 170 degree fever, guys. Come on, guys. Give the dude a break. It was 107 and it was very fucking weird. It was very fucking weird.
It was not 107. Fuck you. Like I'm not pressing X to doubt on that. I'm pressing F to I'm pressing like triangle to call you a fucking retard because that isn't even possible. Like no, it was very nice of his heat allergy to ignore the 107-degree fever. I also don't believe in the heat allergy, by the way. Working back on getting healthy as he pours a glass of alcohol, I'd like to once again point out that a 107-degree fever would have left him comatose or dead, especially with his fictional heat allergy. He's also downgraded to $60 whiskey. Can't live it up anymore, but I'm sure Brother Justice will be happy they're getting support in business from an in-state limited celebrity like Baldo. I get Nick being sick, but why keep up this lie? Just say it was 104 and carry on. He can't handle being like called a retard. Like that's the issue is that like every single time he's just like, "Oh, I had a 107 fever. Like I tested it on three different thermometers. I totally was that sick, guys." Like he can't admit that he was a retard because like people would make fun of him forever. Like I think. Um okay. I can't tell the difference between sick Nick and healthy Nick. Don't you all feel bad now for not believing me since I can't tell a lie? I could have died with a fever like that. Giggle. Yeah. 107 ceiling cats. So he's still going with the fever of 107 story? Such a mess. He's not over his illness, but he keeps drinking and barely eating. Well, like, okay, I didn't eat when I was sick either. Like, I legit think he had the same thing I had, because like he has like the same exact like description of like not eating for like 3 days, and then like it lasted about a week. Same thing happened to me, right? Like, I think it was the same exact flu. Like, um, so like for me, like I didn't eat for 3 days either. Like I've confirmed this one. So like I don't think that's unusual. Like it was brutal. Like I also was like torn up when I got sick. So I don't think that's weird. But yeah, I definitely didn't have a 107 to fever. That's stupid. Yeah, I don't remember. Like, I went into the doctor to get looked at. I don't remember what my temperature was. I'm curious. Well, that was after a couple of days. So okay, that's
We've
done.
been trying to keep up desperately with the kids' schedules in a way that's been really tough on us.
10 minutes? Are you serious? Ah, okay. Can we do it? I think we can. I'm gonna stick
Of
with
a
it.
difficult task than before. Uh, I haven't been doing anything other than trying to keep up with life. Again, not to belabor this point, life changed a lot for me and Lady Rackets recently, and
How?
scheduling got very complicated,
When?
and keeping up with it became much
How? She doesn't work and you set your own schedule. Like, how is your scheduling complicated? Like, this doesn't make any sense to me. Like, how is your scheduling complicated? How? Like, give me an outline of what your day is like, Nick. Like, I want to see an outline. I want to see, like, an actual, like, a layout as to what you're doing. Like, and don't blame your narcolepsy. Don't blame, like, your shows. Like, no. Like, I don't believe this whole bullshit about, like, oh, our schedules. Like, your kids don't even, like, go to public school. So it's like, okay, like, you're really expecting me to believe that, like, you're so busy that you have problems, like, scheduling. It does not make any sense. Like I said, like, I've been working for 14 hours straight. So, uh, don't
much
give me that
more
shit.
of a difficult
Oh, it's
task
almost 15. Like, it'll be 15 in like 30 minutes. Holy shit.
than before. Not in any bad way. It just you plans things out
No, it'll be 15 in another hour. Excuse me. In another hour, I started streaming at 7:30. Yeah, okay. Another hour, it'll be 15.
around how life is, and then life changes. So we've been trying to keep up desperately with the kids' schedules in a way that's been really tough on us. I am trying to account for that and come up with a more consistent streaming schedule that's very predictable. The sickness has been a fucking monkey wrench and all that. People think they know what's going on, and it's fun to listen to. I'll just tell you what's going on because I don't have any reason to not. People get this idea that like, oh, Nick needs to lie about, like, I don't have to lie about anything
He's lying. He's lying. You can tell he's lying. He's such like I don't want to call him a bad liar because I guess like I guess if you don't know him well, you can like um you wouldn't be able to see through it, but like yeah, you can tell he's lying. Like he's not telling us something about like the scheduling issues. Right? This is one of those things that I wish people talked about more is like the scheduling makes no sense. Like it just doesn't considering like his lifestyle and like what his situation is like his schedule should be open, not like loaded up all the time.
at all. I'll just tell you, I've been looking to redo a whole lot about this show for quite a long time, and I'm finally getting the opportunity to do so. And I want to drag everybody along with it. And, candidly, there's been plenty of times, and again, it's been obvious that I have not enjoyed doing what I built a career that was fun, and then it became unfun. You got to undo that shit because if you're doing something that you don't like or don't want to do, you can't sustain it. In my opinion, that's me though. I know a lot of people go to a job that they don't like or whatever. You go to your 9 to 5, and then you come home and like you divorce yourself from that world when you go back home. For me, streaming doesn't work that way. There is no divorcing yourself because when you pull up social media, you pull up the other things that you do. People ask you about how things are going. All of that shit that factors in is that doesn't go away. There is no like it's what you do, it's who you
You can like put it off though. Like you don't have to like address social media stuff if you don't want to. Like for example, I have a website, right? blackatbooks.org. Like I haven't updated it in a long time, but lately I've been like considering like going back to it and like doing more stuff with it and like adjusting it and stuff like that. I was thinking about shutting it down and like starting a new one, Cody Lee Books. I was wondering if that would be like a better brand name and like maybe getting like, an actual designer on board and stuff like that, like making it look nice. My website design really is trash. I'm not happy with it at all. I've been meaning to change it for years, but I never got around to it. And it's not a big money maker for me anyway. But like it does exist. And like I where was I gonna go with this? Shit. Damn it, I'm so tired I can't well, my point is that like if something is like too much for you to handle, you can like put it off for a while. Like you don't have to worry about your social media job when you're like not streaming, right? You can just like ignore it, like go out to dinner, like, have sex with your wife, like assuming he does that. Like you can do other things. You don't have to deal with stuff as it happens, right? Like, that's something I really take seriously is that whenever I stream a lot, I do make sure I take time to like isolate myself and like just don't look at my phone or whatever for like 5 hours or so. Like, that really helps a lot. Like, I focus on writing or whatever. Like I play games, there are all sorts of things I like doing. Like it's this idea that like you can't stop being a live streamer is just I think a lie, honestly. And keep in mind, I'm not like a nobody. I have my own Kiwi Farms thread. I have like a lot of people who don't like what I do. So, like, I'm not like speaking from a place of ignorance here. Like, I don't think this is like having being an internet personality is really that stressful. I don't feel that way. I've never felt that way. It just seems like he's trying to justify his actions.
Are, it's who you become. And people start to know you from those things. So for me, I have to be in a place where I'm enjoying the show, which means that my life has to be in relative order, which is always a disaster. My like focus has to be on work, which means that I have to eliminate other stressors or other obstacles that come up. I have to deal with those in a way that sometimes it's public and sometimes it's private. They have to go away. And then I have to be able to source material that I'm interested in to come on and talk for hours at a time because you can't talk about shit you don't care about for hours. It just doesn't work. Kazuhira Miller says work in question. Uh, Lumafau. Yeah, dude, it's a different type of work. I'm not saying it's harder than other jobs. It's different. It has different considerations, and you're usually not really ready for them. And then Dusty Moose Knuckle says, "Who cares about how you do your show? Just do your fucking show." Yes, that's the point. But as easy as it is to say what you just said, and what you said is true, just do your fucking show. When you just do your fucking show, the thing about being a live streaming person when you're on for hours at a time is you can't just do your show. You can't act through it. You can't deceive people. You can't like try and obfuscate what's going on.
Oh,
You're
oh no! He's admitting that Kiwi Farms is right about everything. Aw, he admits he can't hide things from them. Aw, he can't hide things from me, Cody Lee. Aw, like yeah, like uh, my thing about this, try to stream less. Like that's kind of my advice towards him right now. Like I'm kind of comparing him to like side scrollers, right? Like what do side scrollers do? Like they have a topic, they go for like an hour and a half, right? They talk about all sorts of things, right? They get guests on, they talk about like whatever they're talking about, and then they leave, right? They have a set schedule, an hour and a half every day. Sometimes people come on, sometimes they don't. Like it's more flexible that way, right? Like, wouldn't that in and of itself be like more effective instead of doing like 3 4 hour shows? Like, do an hour and a half one. Like that frees up a whole bunch of your time, right? Like, if your schedule was so packed, like, wouldn't it be more effective to just fire up a live stream, talk about law, don't argue with your chat, don't talk about yourself for 3 hours, and then just like actually get these things taken care of. But that never happens. Like these live streams of Nick's are like insanely long for what they are. Like it's crazy going back and like watching like classic Rekieta content, like that live stream I was talking about with Drexel, right? The one with him, Keon, and Nick, right? The one where he talks about grooming the girl. Like that was like 7.5 hours, right? That was so long that like both of the guests like couldn't stick around for like the conclusion of it, right? They both had to leave. So like it's really common. Like his podcasts are like unbelievably long. it's his shows are unbelievably long. Like that is what he should be doing, is that he should be shortening them, staying on topic, and like keeping the discussion around legal topics. And like nobody's saying he can't branch out and like do other things, right? But like the reality is that like he just doesn't want to put in the work, right? Like he just wants to come on and like coom is like the way I've always described it. Like he just wants to be just wants to like do whatever, and that's not how this works. Like you have to come on, you have to you have to have a plan, you have to have like something people want to watch, and like he's just not providing that for people anymore.
Life is open for examination, and your moods and your reactions and all of that is there, laid bare. You can try and hide the ball. You can try and put on a good face, but people are going to find out when you're having a good time, when you're having a bad time. There's no way around it. So, for me, my opinion, the best is to always just be open about what you're doing, who you are, how you're feeling and stuff, because people will know anyway. So I
Nick, you're like one of the most duplicitous, like manipulative streamers I've ever seen. Like, I can't think of anyone who's like manipulated more people than you have, like successfully. Like, I think Nick is like a top level like manipulator in the sphere. Uh, I would argue that like Stuttering Craig is up there, but like Craig is like more successful at being a snake than Nick is. Like most people don't even realize Craig is a snake, and he's been doing this like way longer than Nick has, right? So it's like um Craig legit like today. If you don't know, Rooster Teeth shut down. Craig today went on Twitter and claimed he was gonna buy back Screw Attack and Death Battle from them, like probably for a fraction of what they paid him to acquire the company to begin with. I'm just like, Craig the Snake strikes again. Oh man, that's crazy. That's crazy to me if he manages to pull that off. He's not gonna do anything with the brand, but like it'll be interesting to see him like do it just so like he owns the property, just so he owns that shit. Like 'cause that is amazing if he manages to pull that off. Like that is legit gonna be like the biggest like YouTube like W I've ever seen. But like if that happens, but we'll see.
try to share that with people.
Ugh.
If they want to share that with me, great. If not, I'm sorry. Try to keep it to a minimum on the show. Um, I really do. But I do
The
try to
snake
let people
strikes
know where I am and what I'm doing, because I want them to know like the course of the show. Because I want them to say, I'll watch this guy longer, or I don't want to watch this guy anymore. I want you to make that decision. I want you to have the information that I can give you to do that. Jameson says, of course, you're such a special boy. I'm sure no one could ever understand. If you haven't done streaming, you can't. Like,
Oh, I'm
if you
doing streaming right now, Nick. You know, I'm calling you out on your nonsense. It's not that hard, right? You know, the longest stream I ever did was like 13 hours. You know, like I could have gone like 14. I was legit doing that stream and thinking that like, wow, I could legit keep going and go hit 24. I could do it. But you know what? I realized it was a bad idea. You know, I kept doing those like 13, 12, 10, 8 hour long streams. And I kind of realized, you know, it's more effective to do shorter, more concise shows where that people can actually watch, you know? That's kind of what I came to a realization to. Then like what happened? You know, I started doing morning shows. I started doing like multiple streams a weekend. I started like you know, doing averaging about like 3, 4, 5 hour long streams, right? Maybe six, like on the upwards. Like I started writing more, right? You know, I started doing all this stuff, and like you know, it began working out for me. You know, I understood that I had a problem with what I was doing. You know, I was playing way too many fucking video games, and I just scaled it back a bit. You know, like, and that worked out for me really well. Like, the thing is, Nick is not doing that. He's not looking at his metrics. He's not like interacting with his audience. He's not thinking about like his needs. Like, he's just kind of like sitting there bitching all the time. Like I don't even think people really noticed or cared that I was streaming less hours, right? Like cuz like nobody was watching those streams to begin with. Like not all the way through at any rate. So it's like okay.
the same way that I haven't done construction, so I can't do construction understanding either. It's just a different set of pressures. I didn't say it was harder or better or whatever. But take your projections and do whatever you need with them, man. It's not my. I don't care.
He's
Look,
projecting.
The one thing you'll always find with me is candid candor, honesty, and probably too much discussion about who I am, what I'm doing, and what I'm
Never trust someone who says they're honest.
going through. But hey, people will see it whether I talk about it or not. So I figure the best approach is probably just to be upfront, talk about things, hang out with you guys, and go with reality. The hardest part about it being a streamer is like you go on. Now, look, if you're sick, obviously you take time off. If you're having a one off day where you're in a bad mood, you take that day off, but you can't do it forever. So if you're having
Yeah,
like a downtime in your life,
you can't do that in like regular jobs either, Nick. Like, do you think that if I had like a personal problem, I would be able to call into work and just say, "Oh, I can't come in for a month"? Like, no, that's not gonna happen. Like, fuck you. That's never gonna fucking happen. Like, he's taken off more time. He's taken more time off in like the past couple of months than I'll probably get all year. To be completely honest with you, like that's my honest, genuine opinion of what I saw. Like, it's just crazy.
if you're having a rough spot, a rough patch, you guys know this. If you're adults, you go through rough patches, you go through good patches. Streamers don't get to not share that with the world. You can either act through it, or you can be you. I don't know how to be not me. I'm not a good actor. So it tends to come through. People have seen me at my worst, people have seen me at my best.
Oh
And I try and
no.
just be open and honest about it because there's no way to like lie or misrepresent to it. There's no benefit to it. To me, it's always best to just be like, hey, no, this is how life goes. It's not always peaches and roses or whatever. Who wants peaches and roses anyway? That's bullshit. I want fried chicken and fucking French fries. But well, actually, I want some mashed potatoes and some really good giblet gravy. French fries can eat a fucking Frenchman's cock. I don't care about that. I want mashed potatoes and giblet gravy, motherfucker. Anyway, like you're gonna
His bits are like the worst I've ever heard. Like they're so bad. Like I don't think I have good bits, but like I don't know. Like I don't know. Am I funnier than Nick? Do you think so? I don't want to say I am, but I can't imagine I'm worse than he is.
go through life and do your thing. You can try and pretend that you're not doing that. A bunch of people
Like he says that, but like he spent like a good portion of his career pretending to be like a practicing lawyer, like a Christian and like a family man, and like none of that was true. Like his entire career is built on like this image that like didn't mesh up to the real Nick, right? Like that was a big issue with like a big point of contention a lot of people have is that he was like putting on a fake front for the longest time. Like he wasn't being genuine about what he was really like.
oh, I'm immune to that. That's cool. That's their thing. I don't care. I've always been me. I've always been open and honest, and you're gonna find out where I am. Like if I'm happy, I'm not happy, you'll figure it out pretty quick. So I just try and share with you guys as much as I can. And that's how I do things. I'm sorry if that gets in your way. Sorry if some people don't like that. Whatever. I can't come on stream and lie for 2, 3 hours a night. I can't do it. It'd be so easy if I could. If I could just come on and lie to you guys and be like, I'm always the greatest person ever and my life is always perfect, that'd be fantastic. I would love to do that.
Streamers do that all the time though. Like I just watched Angry Joe do like a playthrough of Unicorn Overlord. Well, like he did a sponsored stream of Unicorn Overlord where like he's playing the first two missions of the game and he's trying to talk positively about it, but it's like it's one of those situations where you can tell that like they're reading off a script. Like you see him say this several times, like, "Oh, this game has 60 characters," but you know, there's no real, you know, it's just something the sponsor told him to say, and it doesn't have any bearing. Like two missions, right? That demo is like 5 hours long. Like it took me several days to get through that demo, and it was like an amazing experience. But like Angry Joe is just gonna like play the first two missions and then call it quits. Like no, like but he faked being enthusiastic about it. Like he tried to at least. Like that honestly, like I would argue that's like what most YouTubers are, is that they just pretend to be enthusiastic about things they don't care about. Right? Like I think that's very common with these people. And like the thing with Nick is that like he's not willing to like do that. Like he's not willing to engage with it at all. Like he wants to like just do whatever and like get the same result that like the imposters do, and it's just not working for him.
Never, ever, ever have you guys involved in my life at all, but I can't. I'm not a good
Ugh.
liar. I'm not a good pretender. I'm not a good actor in that way. So I try and share things with you guys. I'm going to try and more confine that to locals as we go. But hey, uh, I do shows when I can. And when I can't do shows, I want you guys to know like the reason I can't do them is typically a physical illness or like I'm physically not present at a computer where I can do it. But secondarily, there are occasional days where it's bad. Like I'm in a bad place up here and I can't do one. I try and tell you that that's the case. And the reason I don't do those shows is because those shows would turn into like drinking shows. Shows would turn into some way of me trying to cope through a negative emotion. And that is where you get into trouble. So trying not to do that. I've done it in the past. Don't like to do it in the future. Cases might also be that you're inconsistent on your streams and now YouTube isn't delivering its old revenue. Um, got like the inconsistent on my streams is do people like this is the weirdest thing, guys. Do you think I like spending 20 to 30 minutes explaining why I was late, a particular show, and had to cancel another show? Like inconsistent on my streams. It's not like a fun thing. It's not like, oh yeah, I really love canceling show. Oh my god, I love being late. I don't like it. It's just reality. And I sit there and I try and like go, hey, here's why.
It's very uncommon for other YouTubers to be late to shows, right? Like it's just not something that really happens. Like you schedule a show and then you make time to show up on time. Like yeah, maybe you're a couple of minutes late, like occasionally, and people will like bust your balls over it, but like it's not something that should happen every single time. And that's why it's become like such a meme with him, is that like late and gay is a good way to describe to sum up the Rekieta's channel.
Why this is this thing. I know it doesn't seem like it should be this way, but it is because my life's really fucking weird and stupid and different. And you guys probably
How?
can't understand it because you wouldn't run your life this way, but this is how I do mine. So I'm sorry. Like I hate this. I really fucking hate it.
Yeah, run your life this way. He kind of sounds like me when I'm talking about like personal problems. Hmm. Yeah, same kind of language there. Hmm. Yeah, I expected it had something to do with his family. The fact that he's late all the time. That's kind of my impression on this.
Do you not get it? Like the inconsistent streaming, it's not a thing I like. I don't like canceling shows. I don't like being late. I don't like rescheduling shit. I don't like running a short show. I don't like any of that. I hate it. It's fucking awful. But it is where I'm at right now. That's just how it goes. So, like, yes, yeah, inconsistent shows are a thing, and I fucking hate them. I don't like doing that. I want to just be where I am, and I want to be able to tell people, here's where I'll be. I'm retooling that because it got changed recently. Again, 6 years of a schedule
It got changed.
when you have
What got changed?
5 children doesn't stay. It's just not the same that it was. I wish it was. It'd be easy. It would be easy if I could run the same schedule I ran 2, 3 years ago. Be great, but I can't. So I'm trying to reschedule it, but it's not so fast. Because if I start telling you guys, oh, I'll do it this time, this time, this time, but I won't be able to, that'd be terrible. So anyway, yeah, of course, I don't like it, guys. Like, I know you guys don't like it. Me either. I talk about it because it's reality, but we're working on finding a new landing pad for all this. Normal people don't get to put their family or often their health ahead of their jobs. I think some of them resent you for it. I don't think that's true.
Ah,
I look, I
come
worked in
on.
corporate America for a while and I always got to put my family and my health in front of my job. I always did, no matter what company I worked for. If it really mattered, I would have that. Um, Unfortunately, lately, I've had a lot of family having a lot of needs. That's different than normal. Um,
He says
but yeah,
family.
I'm sure people do. I'm sorry.
Like, does he mean like people outside of like his immediate family, like extended family? Like, that's almost what it sounds like he's implying there is that like it might be something like people outside of his household. Like, I find that really interesting. But okay. Holy crap. Yeah, we're almost.
Many people have
Wow. Wow. Okay. Last fucking clip. Holy crap. Let's see. Okay, we're gonna bring up the Kiwi Farms thread and we'll look at that before we sign off the day. But like, holy crap, this is brutal. Okay, check the chat. Let's get caught up on the chat here. Let's see. He'd never survive working a normal job. Yeah, he didn't, right? He's talked about that before. Like that bank teller story where he's like reading Atlas Shrugged and then his manager comes over like, "Oh, why aren't you making calls?" And then like Nick's just like, "Why don't you make calls? You're better at it than I." Like he's just like that's your job, Nick. Like come on. It's so stupid and really disrespectful to your manager. Yeah. People calling him in the middle of the night needing legal help. Yeah, that's like yeah, I didn't see him say that. Like I saw Elissa mention that in like the reel, like the Star Wars reel we watched. I saw her say that, but I don't know like what the context of that is. Like I find it strange that he would answer a call in the middle of the night though. Like it's just like an emergency legal call. Like really?
Express concern over my health. Look, to those of you who are genuinely concerned, let me just say this. Two things have gone on from May of 2022 to recently. I had intentionally lost about 40 pounds. During this illness, I've lost another 9 fucking pounds that is not supposed to be gone. And it's hard to eat. So I'm working on getting those 9 pounds back. So I know I
Yeah, I
do
did the
look
same thing.
very frail and sick.
Exactly the same thing, actually. Like I lost a bunch of weight and then I had to gain it back like over a period of a couple of weeks and then I didn't start losing weight again until like February, I think. Like I did not feel good. Like I was really concerned about like not having eaten anything in like 3 days. So,
Sickly right now. A lot of that is related to losing 10 pounds that I didn't want to lose. That was not the goal. It was not the plan. And I'm trying to pack that back on, but it's going to take me a little bit of time. It's like I said, it's hard to eat during the day because I don't feel great. So I've been doing a lot of rest, a lot of relaxation, and trying to just take it easy as much as possible while still doing all the shit I have to do for kids and family. So thank you for expressing concern about that. I just wanted to
yeah,
let you
kids
know.
and family. Like he's talking about people outside the immediate family then. Cuz like who else would that mean? Kayla? He has to be talking about extended family then. That is interesting. That is interesting.
That's the case. I'm like today I'm up 2 pounds. I'm about 7 pounds underweight from what I want to be. But that's where that is. So I don't have AIDS yet. I'm trying to get it, guys. I'm trying, but there just aren't enough gay prostitutes in my town. So we'll get there
Ah,
eventually. Westfield says, "How'd you lose
Nick.
so much weight?" I told you guys. If you want to lose weight, it's really simple. Just stop eating. Don't eat.
Terrible advice.
That doesn't
Terrible.
mean never eat. It literally means eat so much less than you think you're going to eat. Um, because that's how you lose weight is you just don't eat as much food. You can create a calorie deficiency somewhere else, like by increasing activity, but most people don't have time for that. Eat less. Uh, that's what I did. It was very intentional. It took a long time. I was 201 pounds at my doctor's visit in May of 2022. I know I got up to 206 at one point, and then now my goal is to be between 160 and 165 most of the time until until I get to the gym more and more and more and add good weight, adding bulky muscle. Then I'll be happy to get back up to 185 if I'm adding pounds and pounds of muscle. But until I'm actually in the gym on a 3 to 4 times a week basis, adding that good muscle, I don't want to have a bunch of
Uh,
fatty weight added on to me. So that's my current plan is I cut the weight that I didn't want on me. I cut a lot of the fat I have very little fat remaining, which is great. And so now I'm going to be adding weight as I am able to get back to the gym, work it out, and add muscle. But just do push-ups. I was for a long time. They're kind of good, but they're more aerobic than anaerobic. You have to add weight. So unless I've got a kid like sitting on my back while I do the push-ups, it's not super good. Um, I have a bunch of different types of exercises that I do for different purposes, and they're awesome. My arms are pretty cool right now. Braxton's I do isometric exercises, incline push-ups, etc. While I just sit around on nights. I did that for a little while, and it works for a minute. But I really like, for me, it's better to go to the gym and actually lift some heavy shit. I
Uh,
don't get there
I
often
wish I
enough,
had
but
time to
I'm working
go.
on that.
But
What
yeah, working these 15-hour days is yeah, damn it. I'm so pissed. I have not been able to go either. I've been so salty about that lately.
Lazulus says, haha, you lost weight because you drink too much. You just replaced food with bourbon. I've been there. No, not
Uh,
even fucking close.
oh, pff,
I've
as
been
if.
drinking this much.
Okay, so like yeah, the thing I'm doing differently than Nick, I'm eating like small like meals that are like really nutrient dense and like high in fiber, high in protein. And that's been doing a lot to help me eat less. So like I'm eating healthy so I don't feel as hungry, right? And like Nick doesn't seem to be doing that. He's just like starving himself, and that's not good. It's gonna cause him problems. I think it has been causing him problems. I think it's a pretty good reason why he's been getting sick so much is the whole starvation diet. Like you don't do this. Like I think the only reason it's working for him is because all he does is sit around the house all day. Like he's just getting a bunch of empty calories. It seems like.
Bourbon for a very long time. Has nothing to do. That's not why I reduced eating. I chose to reduce eating, but okay.
Okay, sure. That just begs the question of like why he decided to lose weight. Because it happened around the time that like people were calling like the whole like worst day ever thing happened, and like the downfall started. Like the dates seem to overlap, so it's really interesting that like he did this. I guess like he's trying to like do what like Kevin Spacey's character did in American Beauty, was like he started working out, like quit his job, like he's legit like LARPing as if he's like the character. It's ridiculous. Uh, yeah, okay. Let's see. It would be interesting to analyze the difference in views and engagement between personalities of comparable popularity. Compare the numbers in to a company, having a decent resume, and then on your first day, you pull out a Baldo. To assuage your supervisor's consternation, you laugh it off and tell him, it's not what you think. Look, you then unscrew the tip of the Baldo to review a little compartment. I can't read this. This is this is gonna get me demonetized. Most companies I've worked for at manufacturing have attendance policies where if you dip to 98% attendance, you're on warning track. My personal record was like 6 years without missing a day. Rekieta wasn't being asked much. Just stream a set amount of times a week. Don't do anything freaky, and you get that fat paycheck. Rekieta said that was tyranny. She had the bottle up his ass, put the baldo on, and now he has to cope with the fact he's lost everything. It's not enough for me. He still goes on pathetic rants about how his dumb shit audience doesn't understand how hard it is for someone as special as him. Sadly, that's the life of a trust fund brat. Real life isn't nice. People will gossip about you if you're an asshole. Cheng's attitude would do Nick wonders. I don't think it's possible for him to change his attitude, only to pretend to. He was slightly honest about that part. He would not do a good job pretending to understand what the rest of the world is like, where the decisions you make have to have sense or you're done. The good thing about current Nick is that he's very predictable. The show is going to be around 2.5 hours. The lolcow content will be in the first 40 minutes, shortly before or after the mystery break, and at the end when he catches up on super chats. Anyone who skims those areas will find most of the good bits. I did notice that. Yeah, I was about to comment that as well. Like it does seem like the most of it is like most of the good shit is in like the first hour or so, and then like the rest of it is really boring. I'll I'm gonna see if that like belief holds true, but like that does seem to be a pretty winning formula. That does seem pretty accurate. At this point, it might even be possible to find highlights just by looking at the preview. Eyes go to the ceiling, gesticulating the Rekieta smirk. I would say everyone can change. Not how Nick is though. He'd have to try and work at it first, and work is something he loathes. Yeah, like that's the really frustrating thing about this is that like it would be so easy for like a redemption arc for him, like more than like any other personality I've ever seen. Like he has everything he needs to be successful. He just refuses to do it, right? Like I feel about him the same way that like most people feel about Spoonie is that like I think he had a lot of genuine talent, but like he's not doing the work, right? He just refuses to like make the content engaging or exciting, and it's just he's become obsolete because of it. I think he could like turn his life around if he really tried, but he's not interested in trying. He just wants to complain. It's just like, ugh. Did I finally see American Beauty? No. I've seen I've seen like red pilled film synopsises on it, and I've seen like clips, like parody clips of it. I feel like I've seen the movie at this point, but I haven't actually seen it. No, I really should at this point. Like I really should. I keep making fun of it. Like I've said this before, but it really does feel like American Evil, my novel, is like the antithesis to American Beauty. Like simply because like I based a whole lot of like the degeneracy that goes on in like the town based on like what Rekieta says and does. You know, like it's very much influenced by that. So like because of that, American Evil, by sheer coincidence, is like the antithesis to a movie I haven't actually seen. So that's interesting. American Evil is the anti-American Beauty. That is my my official stance on this now. That you can't convince me otherwise. It's I hope you enjoy it when it does get released. Releasing October 1st, by the way. Because the content is Nick himself, and Nick is a huge. Let's see, he hasn't had Drex on in ages. Yeah, I do wonder what the deal is with that. That's been something I've talked to. I've noticed is like Drex hasn't been on forever. Let's see. Let's see. Anything interesting? Voucher Rekieta. Wow. Wasn't he on with Legal Mindset though? I think Rekieta is butthurt about LM to such a degree that he even hates his for collaborating with him. Nick became too embarrassing for Drexel to collab with. But I reckon he might also be very busy. It's spring. Women go to gym to get that beach body, so he might be out there taking pictures of treadmills. Ah. Yeah, I'm really interested in seeing what like Drex has to say about the current state of Rekieta. There's no way that he would like that he's happy with like the current state of like the Rekieta. Like he's just like he's destroyed his life. Like you know, Kayla's become like Drexel like expressed like there was a clip that you can find on Kiwi Farms where like he like outs Kayla as being interested in swinging, and like he specifically says that like I don't want that for you. So like I really wonder if like Nick pursuing swinging has like led to Drex like losing interest and like being friends with him. Like it really does kind of seem that way. Like the fact that like this backlash to them both has like led to them not doing shows together is really interesting to me. We'll have to see if they ever come back, but let's see. Fake Wednesday. Yeah, I think that's everything. Yeah. Yeah, boring show today. Yeah, I think that's everything. Nothing interesting has happened. I guess he didn't stream last night. Okay. Yeah, finally. Yeah, American Beauty watch party. Yeah, we might be able to do that. We might see if that's viable. I'll have to like check. Like I'll see if I can do it. I've been wanting to do watch parties for a while, so that might be. We might like fire up like Highlander or something or Big Trouble and like watch that first and then see. But yeah. Um. Yeah, okay. I think I'm done for the day. Like, yeah, 2.5 hour live stream. Shit. Yeah, so we didn't quite make it to 15 hours like of nonstop working, but like yeah, 14 and a half. Whew, crazy. I feel like I'm in dead inside. Like when I end the stream, I'm just gonna like pass out, I'm sure. But like Yeah, thank you all for tuning in. Movie reaction videos, no, those guys are the absolute worst. I hate them. I hate them so much. I am never doing that shit. Like we'll do like a watch party, but we won't like do those edited. Like that shit is unbelievably gay. I hate like reaction content in general. They are like the lowest of the low, right? They are like the bottom of the barrel trash. They are like uh the mobile gaming of like YouTube space, right? Like yeah. Thank you all for tuning in. I'll try to like keep up with the Rekieta updates over the weekend, and perhaps we'll go live again at some point in the future. So stay tuned, and